Welcome to the Nomad Network, your first stop for complete and comprehensive Chicago Bears football coverage. Dive deep into analyses, updates, and all things Bears. Subscribe to our YouTube channel today and never miss a beat. Thank you in advance for your support. We promise to bring you the best because together we're unstoppable. Go Bears!
Yo, Nomaniacs. Welcome into another edition of Nomad at Night. I'm rocking with Trips tonight and the Canuck. Whenever he gets here, he's fashionably late every time. And, fines don't do no work, man. So we're going to have to up the ante on him a little bit, man. We're going to have to raise the value of that tardiness, man. Maybe we'll get him on time sometime. But, hey, welcome in, you guys. You know what? Let me just clean the elephant in the room up, man. This is the first time in a few years, going on about 3 years, that the Nomad Network kind of went dormant for about a week. No shorts came out, no content came out since last Sunday, and that's all me. Because personally, I've been doing some stuff for the past week, and I've been out of town, like I told you all, and this wasn't the kind of situation where I was able to do anything. I'll just say that. Or so you'd have saw some content, but just wasn't able to. But we'll get into that further on down the line. I apologize to you all. Trying to get as much done as we can. You know, we only got, one of my friends just reminded me today, Trips. We only have 8 to 12 days before training camp starts, and I didn't realize we was that close, bro. I was just like, really, we really that close?
Yeah, because I was looking at my my nephew's little heavyweight, pee-wee football, whatever the league is, schedule. And then I was like, oh, damn, that is starting up soon. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, shit, the Bears preseason, games conflict with a couple of their games. And so it's like, oh, yeah, that is right around the corner. Yeah,
my bad, Trips. I was muted.
Wow.
By the way, I did check out a little bit of that tape you sent me on your nephew, man. I'll be honest with you. I think I know which one he is, but I was kind of confused which number he was. It was 14. It was a couple other numbers. I was looking
number 5.
5. I was looking at 14. I started dialing in a little bit more towards the end of watching some of it. Mm-hmm. I started thinking, I was like, that got to be him. So now I'll go back and watch it again, start from the beginning and check him out a little bit more, man, kind of see how he's going. What up, FFG?
Yeah, but now remember that's like the very early tape. And so he did get better, as the season went on, and then I got another season I gotta do before the season starts. Oops. So, it's a work in progress, this game. But looking at the tape, in order like you are, I think you'll be able to, notice the progressions. So it's like now it's like you're not sure what number, but I can, guarantee that in some of the upcoming games, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know that dude's number.
Yeah. It's such a fun age. That part of football is such a fun time. It's just like little cats don't know what they're doing, but they're starting to get it. You know what I mean? They right. Don't really get it, but they're starting to get it at that age. It's fun to watch little dudes like that at that part of their lives, and they just really starting to get. They like football and they love it, but the everything tactical that goes on in the game, they just now starting to understand why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, they still figuring out their actual, physical body coordination.
Yeah, all that going on at the same time.
So it's like looking at those little baby deers when they're born, trying to run around playing football and play tackle is like, wow. But yeah, but that also makes it so much, enjoyable to see the progression as they get older, as they get bigger, more coordinated. They, realize it's like, oh, this is how you play this game. And then it's like, the sky's the limit because, they're still shorties. So what is to be is still be TBD.
They don't understand it's the hurt business yet. They're not trying to hurt each other. Them little love taps and stuff they do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just fun to watch little dudes at that age. I can remember probably in the last 5 years, I went out to one of my nephews, practices, and I'm watching the coach go at these cats, these little boys, and I'm just like, look, man. I'll pull him to the side, wait till he was done with his players, everybody disperse. And then everybody, all the coaches and just walking around. I was like, look, man, hey, I'm not here to give you a hard time like these parents. Yeah, my nephew is out here. But I just impressed upon him. I'm just like, man, I know you want to win. But boy, you gotta let these dudes have fun. All they want to do is run around and wear their uniform and know that they're part of a team. Take it easy. You too serious out here, man. It shouldn't be this serious this early.
Right. You got to enjoy the game before you realize it's a business. And now, granted, the business aspects are coming earlier and earlier. But as long as you can, enjoy that youth, the the naivete, the innocence, if you will.
It's a lot of. I remember those days vividly, man. It's a lot of. I can't wait to practice over to go get a pop or go get a hot dog or whatever it was. Or after a game, you go get a little treat or something after the game. Somebody might take you out. Your parents might take you out for a burger or something. Pizza. You enjoy playing the game, but you look forward to what happens afterwards. That's the age of innocence in football. Pure innocence. There's pure innocence because the game gets much, much, much more serious. And I'm talking about physically. Things that happen, man. I just saw an unfortunate story in ESPN while I was going. I just turned on the phone and look. Remember Marshawn Nealon that ended up passing away, the Cowboys edge rusher?
Yeah.
So his family had his brain examined, and he had sure signs of CTE. Oh, he was only a first-year player. And, that was it's a serious thing. And the CTE thing is getting ready to that thing is going to mushroom in a big way, because the truth is, man, after high school, I'll go and tell you that in some people's high school experiences, really your body is never the same after at least your senior year in high school. But in the college, for sure, after your first couple college experiences, your body ain't the same after that. And it might not be concussion related stuff, but all kinds of things go on in your body, man, that people don't realize happens. Like you go out there and you go take 60 reps in a game. Go take 60 reps in a game on one side of the ball, tackling or getting hit. And I'm telling you, until you experience that on that level and beyond, you just don't know what these dudes go through. Trying to prepare your body, you don't even know. Like the first couple of days of the week after that game, you ain't nowhere near ready to go out there and do nothing else, man. You need a few days to get your body back right. And so, again, with the innocence of a 10-year-old Trips' nephew, enjoying the game like he's enjoying the game, it's just fun to be out there. But if he gonna continue to play, there are much more serious days ahead, for sure.
Oh yeah, and then I look at him obviously, but being a team sport, you see the same kids every week, and so it's like, oh yeah, that kid's cool. That kid, yeah, he needs some practice. That kid, yeah, he's still growing into his deer legs. that kid, oh, he looks like he's good. So you kind of do a little scouting, just looking at kids, and it's like, how will they develop? And, do any of them express traits like, hey, that dude was like a baller and he wants to be a baller and he ain't taking no crap from nobody who's saying that he ain't a baller, or is it like, I just want to look at the stars or, have the uniform on or be on the team, so there's a lot of that going on too, but they're still kids. So, next year they might be into soccer or rugby or whatever.
My bad, Trips. Hold on 1 second.
What up to everybody out there in the chat? Hope you are enjoying this warm Sunday evening in mid-July. It's beautiful out, ain't it? Beautiful.
It is. Hey, so what's your week been like, man? Anything you want to talk about?
Well, for those that are online right now, check out the new redesign there at sportschicagostyle.com. Shout out to brandbuilderspro.com for putting that up. And so been collaborating and getting the details on the various pages and working with Chef Trips and Coach Tripping and Trip, to get their aspects of the pages, kind of customized with, their voice, so that's been a week, that's a lot of personalities, to deal with right there. So, the whole website's been redesigned. So everybody's, pages, the recipes for Chef Trips and the ingredients are there. There's still more actual videos to be populated from the current ones, but the format's there and those are still being done. But the Trip Kundo page, it looks good. The home page, all the sports pages, you get the slots for the videos and little tabs and stuff. It looks really cool. So that's been pretty much of the effort for hours that can turn into days at times. But yeah, so yeah, sportschicagostyle.com. Check it out. Yeah, that's been about my week. But also I want to give a shout out to this guy on Twitter, Quad Carl. He's an actual quadriplegic, but he's doing a second annual motorized wheelchair ride to the state capitol up there in Cheeseland in Wisconsin, Madison. And, he's on YouTube as well with live footage as he's rolling up there. And, so just a shout out to, him and all of those, dealing with the Medicaid, Medicare crisis for people with disability in this country due to, bills and laws and such. But, there are many people within our fandom that, suffer from various disabilities, so he is representing all of them. And so, I want to give a shout out to him and all of them as well.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. He's in a wheelchair going from where to where?
I forget what town he's from in Wisconsin, but he's going to Madison, which is a state capital. And I know it's over 100 so miles from where he's going, but he's in a wheelchair, the not robotic, but mechanical, automated and shit.
So he's not rolling like with the arms.
No, he's not like pedaling because he's a quadriplegic. He can't.
Okay. My bad. I missed that part.
Yeah. So he's either like he has I don't know how he controls it, like with his breath or like maybe hand movements, but whatever. He's in an actual wheelchair though, mechanically rolling. And so a shout out to all those people helping him too, because he's live streaming, so that's batteries and a laptop and stuff in his backpack, that he's got to type and use. They're helping him. And then like if he has mechanical issues with his chair, or, the battery needs recharging, he needs help for that. And so it's bringing attention to the necessity for, caregivers to, to help these people just survive and live. So yeah, shout out to all of them. And speaking of trying to just survive and live with whatever difficulties you may have physically, how was your week down there with the people who had the disabilities from Mother Nature, that caused a ruckus with all their shit.
Interesting segue, man. Really good one. But before I get into that, let me shout out the bishop who hit me up this morning. I mean, not this morning, but last night after I got home. And he just wanted to check on everybody, me, you, kids, and make sure everybody was good. And I let him know everybody was good. And can't wait to have him back on the show. So shout out to the bishop. Hopefully we'll get him in here as soon as he can. He's in a kind of a transition period too. He's trying to get some, trying to check some boxes and trying to make sure he's got his stuff aligned like I am. But yeah, man, he asked about everybody, wanted to know how everybody's doing, and the No Maniacs too. So just wanted to let y'all know he was thinking about y'all.
Right.
But back to what I had to do. Boy, that was an experience. When I tell you it was an experience, let's start with the healthcare part of it. I'm always going to have a certain affinity for people that do that kind of work just because of the kind of work I've always done. And now the kind of work my girlfriend does every day. She works in a facility just like the place I had to go take care of. And so, man, you talking about a bunch of people. Just imagine anybody out there in the Nomad Network community that has someone in a nursing care facility or something like that, or assisted living or something like that, anything like that. Just imagine, what goes on in a 24-hour cycle inside that place. I'm talking about the functionality of the place, talking about the experience of the people that live there, the residents of that place go through. And imagine a crew like my crew just went in there and has to eliminate the floor, take all the floor out in the whole damn facility. Imagine how disruptive that can be. And so section by section, we going through this place. We got to, kind of set up a decontamination zone in this part so that we can work there and nobody around it is affected. You got plastic up all over the damn place and loud equipment smashing and all kind of movement going on and people just looking. And what's cool about it, as hard as it was how the residents reacted to us. Some of the ladies in there, they have Alzheimer's and dementia. Some of the people just in there, people with no legs, people with all kinds of, have a SHIT bag on their stomach and it's not right. There's all kinds of people in there. And how some of the ladies reacted to us was hilarious, but heartwarming at the same time. They all reaching their hands out to me. Hey, hi. Hey, how you doing? You got to stop what you're doing for a minute and just acknowledge them, talk to them, and, just be human. And sometimes, they're trying to get where you're going. They got to go down the hallway where you're working. So you don't want nothing to happen to them. So you're going to give them a buggy ride. You're going to go on all right, I'll get you there. Just tell me where you want to go and we'll take you there. So a whole lot of that was the fun part about it.
Mm-hmm.
The not so fun part about it was the work, man. So imagine going in a place that all the waters have receded, but you got about 4 feet of damage from the floor.
Yeah.
From the floor up. So you're talking about flooring, two layers of it too. I'm talking about tile. I'm talking about a subfloor underneath it. That's got to go. And up to about 4 feet of your body, cut all the drywall out of there.
Mm-hmm.
All of it's got to go. And so it was a Herculean task, bro. And I'm talking about the ramifications of it. I'm just now really settling in because we just stopped the work yesterday. And man, dude, last night, my limbs swelled up so bad. I played football for a long time, and my body never had this kind of reaction. Never drank so much water and Gatorade in my life. Because it rained every day down there, and the heat was sweltering after that. It was terrible. And so I'm talking about Bad. When I tell you bad, my body is rough right now. It's much better after last night. My feet were so swollen, my legs were so swollen, I could barely get into my slides, bro.
Where were you? What state?
I'm in the Ozarks in Missouri.
Oh, Missouri. Okay. Yeah. The Ozarks. It's different down there.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful looking.
It's a good TV show too.
Great TV show. But it was physically demanding, but that's something that my body ain't as used to as it was. I gotta, getting my body back in gear for something like that. I think those calls are gonna keep coming. And we're gonna do some more work like that, I'm sure, soon. But man, bro, it was like imagine this. Imagine this. You got a crew of dudes. We could all be in hotel rooms, but no, we got an Airbnb. And it's like if you ever seen the show Yellowstone, or all the farm hands and all those rodeo people, they have like these on the same property. They have these like barracks and shit like that, little
bunkhouses.
Yeah,
that show has too many mustaches for me. I haven't started watching it yet.
I understand, but that's what it was like. It was like a bunkhouse, frat house, man. All you can do. I was impressing upon them dudes. Everybody want to, soon as it's so hard that first thing you want to do is get out, go get something to eat, take a shower, and go to bed. I was like, no. I was like, you're gonna work this hard, you're gonna play hard. I went to the store and got the Jameson. It was on after that.
Oh damn.
It was fucking on. You understand me?
Turn up.
It went down, and we had a good old time.
Turn it up in the Ozarks?
Getting all dehydrated and shit.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Bro, I never drank that much water and Gatorade while playing football.
Sweated all that shit out.
Woo.
Now tell the truth. Now Wednesday night, was you in the mood or in the position to be doing a show?
Man, I forgot you motherfuckers existed. I ain't gonna lie. I was just by that day, that was the hump day, man. Man, dude. I was hurt. That was probably the worst day.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the worst day. And when we got to the house, I twisted everybody's arm to make them kind of relax and enjoy some spirits and drink a little bit, and we just kicked it. We kicked it hard.
Mm-hmm. So doing some extra sauce for like 2 to 5 hours. Nah. So y'all gonna start listening to Old Trip.
Not only was the Wi-Fi not as good because we was in the Ozarks. I just wasn't there, man. I wouldn't have been the same cat.
Yeah. That's why when real life, grabs you by the taint, the ball sack or whatever, you got to deal with it.
Damn, Scrolls.
Well, Red Baron knows, because Ozarks is kind of like Virginia, West Virginia.
Dog, that's some real shit. Scrolls out here saying that it was some real. Yeah, it was some real weird shit, weird looking shit.
Yeah, that's my uncle brother.
My uncle brother.
My cousin girlfriend.
Gee.
But the body part that you got to pay for, it was really good money. I'll just say that. And let me just say the reason why I'm doing this, just to be clear and honest, is the last couple 2 or 3 years, me being able to do this stuff without any disruption was the fact that had a nice savings set up. I stocked a bunch of money away, and we was able to do that kind of uninterrupted and was living off of it. But when them funds start running low, you got to go do what a man got to do. Yeah, you do.
And that's the thing about the opportunity arising. The opportunity is obviously a disaster for some, but a come up for others. So you got to be hoping you just on the right side of being the hammer or the nail. And this time you were like the hammer. Cool.
It's really good money, but it's really, really hard work that you got to be willing to do. You got to have stamina. You got to have patience. You got to have, just a good work ethic, to be honest with you. And it's not
the same thing as trying to find a little man in the boat.
Hey, y'all, hey, keep it cool, man. Hey, talk for a minute. I'll be right back, man.
What's going on, kids? You late son of a bitch?
Yeah, man. I was drinking here today, man. It's Sunday. Thought I could take a little siesta, and next thing I know is 20 after 9. So here I am.
Man, kids drunk.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it could be worse. Be all right though. It's Sunday. Beautiful day in Ontario, man. Beautiful day in a beautiful country out here, man. It's real nice.
Right on. Would you throw some flesh on the grill? Do some charring? What happened out there today?
Nothing. Well, yeah, I did a little bit of burgers today, man. Little burgers and salad. Nothing too special. Kept it kind of simple, but it was we had good eats. Little some strawberries and whipped cream and a little bit of chocolate on there. A little dessert.
Nice.
So yeah, it all came together for a Sunday. I can't complain.
That's some nice summertime. Yeah. Summertime. Take me to the warmth of summertime. Yeah, you know it. I dropped it on them kids. Sports Chicago style. It's new. It's improved. It's updated. All the pages, though, kid. You gotta check it out.
Oh, well, now I'm definitely gonna have to check it out.
All right, let's see. Red Baron said he threw some wings on the fire yesterday. Would that be Yardbird wings or like turkey wings?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because the turkey wings and the drumsticks get slept on during the summer, but smoked on the grill, those are two fine parts of the turkey for summer eating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, you gotta grill them right. You gotta grill them right, man. Kids, what's been up with you this week?
Nothing special, man. Like all I can say is this: they decided they made a decision to bring Claude into the business. And let me tell you.
Wait a minute. Explain to him what Claude. You talking about Claude AI?
Claude's the dopest AI of them all. Like ChatGPT, you fucked up, bro. Like I just gotta say that out loud.
No, you fucked up.
So like I do all kinds of weird stuff. A lot of it is technical. So even just from a technical perspective, I test out AIs and take a look and see what they're about and whether they're worth my time, energy, and effort. And for the most part, I have been a ChatGPT user. I have played with Gemini. I've played with DeepSeek. I've played with Copilot. And I was kind of like ignoring this Claude thing. And maybe last week sometime, I was like, you know what? There's like $1 subscription. Let me get this subscription and test this out. And on Monday, we had a big meeting at the office. And my CEO was like, yo, Claude's dope. We getting Claude. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I can cancel this damn subscription. When we getting it? So we got it on Friday. So I canceled out my subscription and then started playing with Claude. Let me tell y'all, man.
Let me ask you a question before you finish that.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get the $1 subscription at work, did you? Or did you get another kind?
No, they got like a professional full version.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you got the top shelf.
Yeah, I got the top shelf version of Claude. And let me say,
find out how much that costs.
I don't. Hey, somebody else paying for it, so I have no idea. I didn't. You know what I mean?
Don't even give a fuck, do you?
I give 0 fucks. By the way, yeah, I didn't go and take a look at what the dollars and cents was. Quite frankly, I was a little bit trepidatious with that $1. Like
man.
I'll be straight on that.
How long I got to cancel this shit?
You know what I'm saying? I got 7 days. Damn it. I gotta beat it up. So I started messing with it a little bit last week. And then Friday came around and the owner of the business kind of hollered at me. He was like, hey, you know, your license is ready. I was like, all right, cool. So I jumped in. On Friday night, I jumped in and I just started to do some things. And I realized, oh shit, this thing's, hey, what it up, Paulski?
Hey, real quick, Paul hooked us up with a rookie film, man. He gave us a little version of a rookie spotlight. I'm gonna debut that within the next week or so. But shout out to Bearski Film and my boy Paul, man, for that, man.
Big up, y'all.
I love him and appreciate him for that.
Right on. Courtesy of Nomad Beats as well. This should be some fun shit. So fingers crossed. Can't wait to see that. But yeah, man, I like I say, I mess with Claude this weekend, all weekend long. On Friday night, I was like, all right, so like, what can I do with this thing? So I did a bunch of cool stuff and was very impressed. But what I wound up doing, like slightly more personal, I was like, all right, so Claude, like, let's build a sampler. And it was like, okay, and it like, if I could show you guys what it built for me, and I probably will show you guys after, but if I could show you guys what it built for me, I was like, yo, Claude is legit though. Like it all this thing was really missing, and I'll say all it was missing was like a bank of dope sounds. If I had like a sound bank that I could have uploaded in there that it could have leveraged, it built me a working step sequencer and more or less sampler. Like I could, if I had better sounds, I could have been producing tracks.
All you got to do is go download some little pocket tools or some what do they call them? They got some little sound.
There's tons of stuff like that.
Download it and put it in there, man.
The real problem is like this is on my work shit. Like that was the only reason why I didn't actually go that extra step and bring the sounds in and really mess.
You can make an excuse for that, man. Like I was thinking about doing us some commercial advertising or some shit like that. You can come on now. You can wiggle around with that.
I'm not in marketing, so I like let me see what I can do. But like the moral of the story is Claude built me a web-based friggin' DAW in minutes, and I was like, this is insane. Like I don't like, man, I really want to show you guys what it built, but I can't do it. Anyways, it's yeah, this is how powerful this thing is, man. Like I sat in a conference maybe 4 months ago, and a gentleman was talking about Claude to me, and I was like, okay, so is it as good with mathematical computation as DeepSeek is? Because DeepSeek's very good at math. And it was funny, I was saying this to an Asian guy at the office, and he was like, of course it is. That's the Asian AI. And I was like, oh, you're getting all racist there. At least you can get away with saying that. I didn't say it. You get away with saying that. But it's true. The ChatGPT is not very good at it. On the flip side, though, I'm not sure how. I haven't really tested out Claude from a mathematical perspective. He had, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
He's an asshole, Paul. He's an asshole for even doing it.
Hey man, he had to, but he was Asian, so he got away with it. He could say it. I just had to agree. In any event, Claude is like, I'm not like.
Thank you very much.
Claude will build shit for you, so that's why it's super dope, man. But
he said, Bears Film said, "Don't ask for the Polish AI. You don't want to see that shit." How many AI does it take to change a light bulb?
You come back with a plate of pierogies. Snap, man. Yeah, man.
Wait, let me ask you a question, man.
Scrolls.
How deep did you go into Quinn AI when I showed you that?
Quinn, I didn't really mess with it at all, actually, just because it's kind of purpose-based and it didn't I didn't have a reason to do it. But
yeah, I find now I messed around with both of them, and I find that to be more intelligent than Claude. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I'll have to take another look.
I think I'll agree with that because Quinn is just more intuitive, and it's like having a regular conversation with a person as opposed to, trying to break shit down for a professor that don't speak English. And that's what communicating with some of these AI interfaces is like.
So you're right, but not in Claude. My experience with Claude has been very much plain English for the most part, like right down to me actually testing out text to speech and using that to go. It just understood what the hell I was talking about and ran with it. But why it's so powerful, and I don't know about Quinn. I would have to really try Quinn. Why Claude is so powerful is because Claude has connectors into certain programs that you might wind up using. And like in ChatGPT or any other AI that I've used thus far, with the slight exception of Copilot, and I'll tell you why. But anyways, what Claude does is it has like an intrinsic understanding of that user interface and that program. And it'll just go do the shit you want it to do. In ChatGPT will be like, okay, like we get what you want to do. Here's how you do it. Go do it then. You know what I mean? Like it'll kind of show you and give you the information you need to go and do something.
It'll give you links to go check out.
At best, Claude will go do the shit. Claude goes and does it, and I'm like, this is wild. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm impressed. I'm very impressed by Claude. And in a sales role, basically I was able to pull my entire funnel, clean up my entire sales pipeline and funnel, lickety split and like I've been ignoring this stuff. What is it? It's July. I've been ignoring it for 7 months solid. I'm just hitting nose down, head down, pumping through the business that I got to do, but kind of ignoring the little nuances around the business because like I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not, oh, my boss needs it and my boss's boss needs it. Screw them. I just need to drive money, make money. If I'm making money, everybody happy. They're going to leave me alone. So far I've been making money. Everybody's happy. They're kind of leaving me alone. But in the end,
he's a good earner.
You know what I'm saying? In the end, they're like, but like, how did this, let's connect the dots so we have a story behind the scenes and we can talk about this thing. Man, Claude did 77% of my job on Friday, like straight up.
And so, that's the thing with you, kids. You're looking for a shortcut for everything to keep you from having.
But that's what AI is.
But at the same time, if you're dependent on AI, you're going to come up short at some point. I'm telling you right now, if you're not willing to fill in some blanks and you're expecting that thing to take care of everything you're thinking in your head, you're going to come up short on any AI. There's going to be some legwork that you have to do. You got to fill in some blanks.
Paul just nailed it.
Well, that's what the AI is trying to learn to do.
But it ain't there yet. It ain't there yet.
No, what I'm telling you is
where it's going.
What I'm telling you is it wasn't 2 weeks ago. It is today. 2 weeks ago, I was using ChatGPT to do most of these same functions, and it kind of left me in that, all right, here's all the information you need. Go plug it into Salesforce. Go plug it into, you know what I mean? Go do the stuff you need to do. Cool. I guess I can meander my way through all that, which is what I would have done anyways with or without you, AI. Thanks a lot, ChatGPT. Claude says, screw that. I'm just going in there. Is this what you want me to do? All right, done. And that's what I need so that I can focus on other things. I don't really want to, it's not a question of relying on it because I didn't have it up until Friday. You know what I mean? I would have went and did it anyways. And quite frankly, on Friday, that's what I was going to do until I stopped and I said, wait a minute, if I can get this thing to do it, now I can really focus on the important thing, which is making money.
Now, what is Red Baron talking about? What's OpenClaw?
Pair Claude with OpenClaw.
I'm not familiar, but I've seen it.
What's OpenClaw?
Another AI thing? I don't think I've ever heard that name.
I haven't messed with it, but I've heard about it.
All these, damn data centers opening up, and it's like we don't need all these data centers for all this new stuff.
Oh, it's a widget assistant, probably. I think is what he's talking about. He said, give it to Claude. Give Claude OpenClaw as an assistant, kind of like a widget would, and you get a better performance. Is what he's basically trying to say.
Let's see. OpenClaw is a highly popular open source AI agent that automates tasks and interacts with apps on your behalf.
Ooh,
like a widget.
Ooh, somebody just had a little something. Give him a cigarette. Don't touch him.
Like a widget, ain't it?
Running locally, it connects with popular messaging apps like WhatsApp, Telegram, and Slack. You can instruct it to manage your calendar, check in for flights, or organize your inbox using advanced language methods. Yeah, ain't none of that shit still worth all the
All the
natural
words?
resources these AI data centers is sucking up and spitting out.
Well, here's the thing. You're right, Trip, and that's always going to be the viable argument. Meanwhile, that ain't stopping these billionaire clowns from putting them in the ground. So what the U's and the I's need to do is determine ways to leverage this thing early adoption to make bank. Right? I ain't got no farm.
Good.
You know what I mean? I don't have a farm out there, and I'm not losing my farmland. Somebody else is. In the meantime, I got to figure out how to make bank out of this thing. And this is great. So OpenClaw is really cool, Scrolls. I'm gonna try to mess with this here now. So how I got into building that sequencer I was telling you about, that DAW, was actually through here first, right? Like initially, I was like, all right, so like, what else can I connect into to get you to run? Could you run a DAW? And Claude was like, a DAW's a digital, what is it? No, man? Digital audio workstation? Digital audio workstation. So that was my original sort of idea. And Claude kind of came back to me and said, you know what? Like, I could in theory, you know what I mean? Yeah, like I could, but I don't have a connector built in. So like what OpenClaw is, it's a connector to multiple other things that would allow Claude to go in and do that work. That's what OpenClaw is. So super dope. I'm gonna see if I can mess with this. And
well, you see, but the thing is, you don't the human aspect of it is, while the workflow is enhanced by these AI agents and tools, you don't want to get it to smart enough to the point where you, as a human being, aren't necessary.
Too late for that, Trips. What people are doing right now with AI, helping companies get it all set up, they're really writing on their own tombstone. They're writing their own tombstones out. Well, here lies the Canuck.
No, man, no. You're looking at it wrong. The Canuck is saying, I'm telling you, the Canuck is saying, if I can do this here, I could quite frankly maybe go get 2 more jobs doing the same thing, eliminate all the bullshit work, and just be a guy who makes paper. You know what I mean? Just be like, that's basically what this.
You're talking about, individually sourcing it for your own personal assistance, if you will.
There you go.
Build your own kids, the Canuck. Yeah, I might be an asshole, but I'm getting paid brand.
Bang.
We're not there yet. We're probably about a year and a half away from that.
Yeah, but that's definitely where it's going, and that's the problem with like the big employers who got like bank, who got like top shelf Claude and all the accoutrements. Because now you are looking at the human resource aspect as a lesser factor, a lesser need.
You're supplementing the workforce with AI and automation and all that kind of stuff. But it's a matter of time before that becomes a global problem. And I'm talking about a global emergency where some of this AI gets out and about and starts to make decisions all within itself.
Yeah, being autonomous is not a good thing. But like Red Baron, this comment he put up here, like, for example, you can tell OpenClaw to create the sequencer and then market and sell it on the apps, route all funds to this bank account. So you basically can automate this business, whatever it is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. It's getting pretty close. Like if you're somebody that's a entrepreneur and you have, physical product to sell, things like that, where it doesn't take a lot of mediation and things like that in between time. You got a physical product to sell. The AI is getting pretty close to you not even having to be hands-on until it's time for you to open up your phone or whatever you got to look at your bank account to see if the transactions took place.
Well, I mean, that's that's not even new, really, because with drop shipping, and with certain Spotify or
Shopify,
sales cart,
Shop.
shopping cart links and programs, all that's automated, and it's just you'll hear a ching ching on your device, and it's like, oh, I sold something and it was shipped, because it's all sourced
So,
outsourced.
so what you're describing, and me and Nomad actually looked pretty deep into this. What you're describing, yeah, it exists today, but it requires, Nomad was talking about widget. It requires a fair amount of if and then functionality to make certain things actually automated. Each one of those automations costs money. Like you know what I mean? And that price tag just exponentially climbs until you're like, well, shit, like, am I even making money anymore with all this automation? At least I don't have to pay people to do it, but am I making money? I'm just paying a non-existent entity to do it. Right now I have one non-existent entity, and it's for the most part doing everything that I actually really need. So it's interesting.
It's a rabbit hole is what it is.
I don't know, man. I'm like I say,
well, here's the thing, because all of us are of the age that we should all be, at least multi-millionaires by now, because we all had paper of some kind, when the internet was born. And had we all, invested in some aspect of it, we would be, living fat right now. We were all around when Costco was founded. Now, they're at $900 and some a share. So if we can find a way to utilize this new AI thing to get in, where you fit in, get your little crumbs from the American slice of the pie, you know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. I ain't mad at you, because it's all a hustle, and it's like, as long as you.
This is all I'm saying.
I saw the dopest shit ever, man. And just to show you how close we are to having pretty much everything be so automated that you don't really have to get your hands involved. Everything we just got through describing, I saw a guy with a 3-car garage and a mini, let's just say he was selling barbecue sauce or something like that. I can't remember. It was just some kind of bottled product. And he even, in his 3-car garage, he had a mini manufacturing plant in there. So the thing would grab the product, sort the product, grab it, put it in a box, tape, wrap it, stack it. In his garage, he paid $16,000.
Back it up, flip it, rub it down. No.
$16,000 for this machine to do it. And he went through probably a 3-month class to learn how to do it. It was a Japanese manufacturer. He went through what he needed to go through to learn how to function with it and repair it if it were to happen, something were to happen with it. And he's in there churning out products, not really even having to touch it. Only thing he has to do is deliver it to where, wherever they're shipping it off to, and off it goes.
Shit, that's his workshop. All he got to do is move it outside, because I'm sure, whatever company he's using to ship, is used to picking up from bulk at his spot.
I'm just gonna say they'll come pick it up at your location. Yeah, Ron, like you're bang on. The like the data center argument is a whole other argument, and
not the surveillance part.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like it is all about stealing your information, taking those data points and doing other things with it, right?
Peace out, Bearski.
Yeah, Bearski.
Right on, Bearski.
But that's exactly what it is. There's really not much you can do about that, other than, again, protest if you have the ability to do so. My simple point being, just like when the sampler came out, or the internet, as Trip was saying, or even drop shipping, getting in or being an early adopter and figuring out where the money is in the middle, I think is all that I'm saying. If you can find the money in the middle here somewhere and go get it early, you'll be guapping up down the road Whereas it's, you know, if you miss that boat, you miss that boat, and you're still you know, one of us, unfortunately.
but here's the thing.
About me. Go ahead.
Who is that? Red Baron. In 2010, Bitcoin was literally 0.003 cents, less than 1 cent per coin. Now it's almost 70,000 per coin. You know, and at the time, it's like, Bitcoin, the fuck is that shit? Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about my Bitcoin poker game?
Yeah.
Boys, I was playing poker against these. I was at this dude's house and I'm playing poker, and I'm not cleaning up. My cousin's cleaning up. He's running the table, but I'm doing okay, right? So I'm about $600 up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna shut her down. Just take my money before I lose my money to my cousin, and he goes home with the table, and I get nothing. So I'm like, all right, I'm calling it a night. So I go to cash out, and the homie looks at me, the guy who's hosting the poker game, and he goes, so, like, could I interest you in some Bitcoin? And I'm like, what are we talking about here? And this has got to be in like maybe 06, 08, like in and around early 2000s. Bitcoin had just come out. And I was like, what are you trying to do? He's like, look, I did this contract. I got paid all in Bitcoin. I got tons of this stuff. I don't know what to do with it. It's worthless. I bought a pizza with it the other day because like I couldn't figure out any other way to spend this shit. It's worthless. But you know, could I interest you in some of this worthless ass Bitcoin? And he laughs, and I'm like, well, like, dog, don't sell it to me or anything. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way I'm taking this Bitcoin, but thanks, I'll take my $600. So I take my $600 and leave. This dude now lives in Hawaii. He's got a crazy spot, boats, whips. He's got it all. He's living it up. And I missed the boat on like $600 worth of Bitcoin at that type of number, like what we're talking about. I think it was closer to about 70 cents to the dollar. But again, you couldn't finding some place where you could actually use it or spend it is next to impossible, bro. I missed that. Like, if you look at the translate that now, like $600.
You've been a millionaire,
bro. Man,
multi times over.
Anyways, that's
don't do the math. It'll give
2010.
You
okay, so then it was after 2010. But yeah, like I'm so
early
mad.
stages.
I'm still mad about this.
Yeah, I remember I told you I was at the Collision conference down in New Orleans after the flood.
Oh shit, I did the Toronto one. Okay, cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was a big Bitcoin thing and blockchain. And so I was talking to
what year did you go? When did you go?
What year did New Orleans flood? It was a year after that.
Oh, snap.
Because I remember standing taking a picture in front of a sign that was underwater at the time by the convention center. I
can't remember.
So somebody will let us know. But I'm a reasonably intelligent fella. I can grasp concepts, but there were many of the different booths that dealt with Bitcoin, the blockchain, and all of that. And I looked at the presentations, I talked to them, I asked questions. I still don't understand it. I mean, I was just like, wait, so farming and I get the concepts, I understand the words, but I just do not understand the blockchain.
Well, I do think this, man, because we're going to get into some football conversation. I do think this. Like, for all the people that invested in that kind of stuff, good on them. And if you're making money off of it and it's enriched your life in any kind of way, good on you. I do think, I'm talking about the world economy. United States economy is one thing. It's a huge economy. But the world economy is up for an abrupt upheaval. And so all of that stuff that's going on right now, all the investments, all the money, data tracking that you can come up with, it's all going to blow up right in everybody's faces because everything is changing now because of what has happened in the Middle East. So everything that you're doing moving forward, everything, I'm talking about investments, what you're doing with any kind of money, and what you want to do moving forward for the next 5 years to 10 years down the line, best believe you better think about it in another way on how the world is structured now, as opposed to what it was before. Don't do nothing until you see this thing, this deck be reshuffled, and we're in the process of it right now. So any of those investments right now, hold on that shit. I'm telling you right now.
See, that's the advice that leaves you with absolutely nothing in your
Yeah,
pocket.
that's called
That's all I can. I understand.
That's called wait and see how this thing is settled.
Wait, hold on.
I wait and saw in Bitcoin, and look what happened to me.
Listen,
this is not financial advice from the Nomad Network, from Kansas Connect or sportschicagostyle.com. Consult your own financial institutions for advice.
Listen, if you start to see some indicators, especially in the Middle East, you start to see some alliances being taking place between, Middle Eastern countries and, let's just say, Indian countries or Chinese companies. You start to see a global alliance over in that region of the world, and you start to see things start to form from that. That's where you want to point your money.
Man, you know what's funny, and we can get right into football here, is just giving your example. If other countries are making bank and alliances together, what that's truly going to directly affect is the actual fiat currency in other countries. So in that case, you probably don't want to be holding on to fiat. You want to be holding on to something that didn't depreciate because your country sucks and China decided not to do business with you or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
So you're saying Seattle Seahawks was a good investment?
Well, they did win the Super Bowl last year. I don't see them doing it again.
But I mean, that's some cool shit right there. I own the San Francisco part of the 49ers, but I'm gonna still buy the Seahawks and have my wife run the shit. What kind of shit is that?
Hey, she got to do something on it. Like, this way she'll leave me the fuck alone. He was thinking, you need a job, baby.
In the same division? Really? Isn't that some kind of conflict of interest or something?
I'm just gonna buy you a job. Oh no, they can now they have a real, like, I'm sick of being yelled at for dishes and shit. At least now you can yell at me about how my team whoops your ass twice a season. This is a real good conversation and argument that me and you can have, baby. Right? Like this is what I'm talking about. Other than that, he just got out of a whole bunch of useless, witless arguments that he was probably been having for 20 years.
But he also bought his wife something worth $10 billion. What have you done for your wife lately?
Nothing like that. Exactly. And I plan not to either. Sorry, baby. I'm sorry. But facts.
Listen, that's, you know what?
Oh, shit. She's listening.
That's some interesting stuff, man. But you know what? We do owe the fans. We got an hour in of just talking.
Well, we got our transition to football right there, though.
It's a nice little transition.
Well segued, sir. Well segued.
All right. Big bucks. What do you guys? Let's just start with this. We'll just do this. Give me a second here to pull it up.
What up, Kenny Adams, man? Good to have you. FFG, shout out to you too, and Ron. What up, Ron?
We had a couple of signings over the past several days, and Sam Roush, as expected, got a 4-year deal from the Bears. I don't remember exactly how much, but this is what we expected. Him coming in here and showing them exactly what he's capable of and why they signed him. I mean, why they drafted him in the first place. And obviously they were impressed. Gave him a 4-year deal. I definitely went back to his tape last night and started looking at stuff again. And man, they're going to get their money's worth out of Sam Roush, man. He is so much of everything that you want a tight end. You need a tight end to be in this NFL, not just a guy that runs routes and does a short area catching a 3-yard dump, 5-yard dump. No, he's much more than that. He's an extra lineman in the sequencing of this offense. We have an extra lineman. Remember, I told you that. We drafted an extra lineman that can go out and run routes and catch passes. That's what this guy is. He's going to be an invaluable piece to what we do moving forward. And so the 4-year investment is exactly what they should have done with this guy, and it's perfect.
When was this guy drafted again? In the second?
Second round.
Damn.
He was not the first tight end off the board, but I'm willing to believe.
Who was before him? I thought he was the first.
Wasn't he?
I think so. I think he was the
second
first.
or third.
If he wasn't the first, he would have been second. I don't think there was 2 more tight ends before him.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't the first tight end come off the board. I'm pretty sure he wasn't the second.
No, yeah, but I got the feeling that his game, his intelligence, his drive for football from the interviews that I've seen, may have put him, number 1 on the Bears tight end target board, which is why they took him when they did. So his skill set is one that is a definite upgrade over Durham Smythe that we had last year. Better blocking. This rookie will have, and yeah, I said it, better, catching, better reliability, because Smythe missed a lot of plays and left a lot of meat on the bone. So with the development of the 13 personnel, as Ben Johnson likes to do, Roush being a 3rd round pick. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, there's 5 before Roush, man. I didn't realize there was that many. I thought he was much higher up.
But looking at those 5, the skill sets are different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so Roush is the perfect, skill set for this offense. We already got Colston Loveland, which is, wide receiver prototype. We got Cole Kmet, who is, he does a little bit of both. He's a veteran within the offense, whereas Roush is a little kind of a hybrid of both while being a tight end at the same time. So he fits perfectly within this Bears system.
That's perfectly said, Trips, because that's exactly what he is. He's a little bit of the guys we already have, and a lot of one of them. What I'm gonna tell you this from a defensive back standpoint. This guy comes to an offense with a built-in warning label on him to defensive backs, linebackers, especially defensive backs. Hit it if you want to. You don't want to hit a 270-pound guy that moves at the way he moves is he's a target that everybody's gonna, you gotta tackle him. So everybody's gonna go after his legs, but he really, really protects his body really well when it comes to contact. He will lower those pads and not let you go after those legs, which every DB, I admit, I would definitely not hit this guy above his ankles.
But now remember, Nomad, as a DB, you're looking at, who is he, like 6'6", isn't he? 6'7"? He's tall dude.
Big, man.
So he's running, his knees are already going to your chest level. So if you go down and try to tackle this behemoth any place below the navel, what are the odds you're gonna catch a knee to the ear hole?
What's the odds you're gonna even play the rest of that damn game? In the next 2 games after that. That dude he's a weapon, bro. Like I'm telling you, turn on that Stanford tape and you'll see when he starts to rumble, man, it's like you can see DBs negotiating how to tackle.
Business decisions.
And they just like, I can't just hit him. You better not just hit him. I hit a dude like this before. And I'm telling you, I remember the feeling vividly, man. It was like hitting an oak tree. You're talking about a dude that's 175 pounds, 180 pounds, hitting a guy with this kind of just density.
Now, how many times you want to do that a day?
Man, dude, if I had to do that more than once a day, I'm going to miss the next week of practice, bro.
So, I mean, so if he, obviously, he's going to be, if, tough, because I saw him, hurdle a guy going for his legs. So he's aware of his body. He's aware spatially. So if he sets a tone early in the game against defensive backs or safeties or whatever, it's like, ouch, when they tackle him. And it's them saying, ouch, that's kind of like Olay tackling, it's like, yeah, I kind of took a bad angle, my bad. And that's going to benefit who? The Bears.
He's like Travis Kelce with bricks in his pocket. Like bricks in his big, heavy cinder blocks in his back pocket. Like, you don't want none of this, man. This is an offensive lineman running routes and bearing down on you. No pun intended, but coming down on you, the defender, like getting away if you want to, man. He's gonna be punishing people, and this is a pure weapon, man. So 4-year deal. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he got probably $1.5, $2 million guaranteed or something like that. But yeah, this is I can't wait to see them apply this dude with those other tight ends. This is gonna be a massacre for some of them teams that want to play us close. And what I mean by close, I mean the teams that want to get right up there and play bump man to man and all that kind of stuff. Man, dude, they're gonna get punished.
Yeah, so the deal is it's a $7,336,000 deal. Signing bonus is just shy of $1.8 million. He's making decent money. I think over the course of a four-year term, just about $2 million a year approximately. It's interesting what these second rounders or third rounders are doing in the NFL now. This whole player arrangement or rookie arrangement is just going right out the window. Somebody needs to do something about this relatively soon. I ain't saying he shouldn't have done it. Well, like there was a set rookie scale that came into place, I don't know, a little while ago, probably 10 or maybe even 15 years ago. But it was towards the end of the career of Sam Bradford. Because Bradford came in, made a bunch of money, and virtually did nothing. And it was a little bit of an embarrassing moment in football. So they came out with this rookie scale, and rookies have hated it ever since. Another example is Sed Benson, who we're all familiar with, kind of came in, got paid a lot, and was out in no time, right? So those are just two early examples of guys who made lots of money as rookies, held out, and it came back to bite not only the player, but the league in the ass. So the league decided to do some other stuff, which was, hey, we're just not going to pay rookies up front. We'll make them prove it. And these rookies in second and third round now are sort of saying, you know what? We are worth way more than what your pay scale says. We're just going to hold out until you figure it out. So we're back where we were before. The real upside for NFL teams is that they're not commanding $43 million up front round one. It's a little bit of a different thing. But again, I think the NFLPA is probably going to have a sit down to try and figure out what they're doing with these rookies and what that pay scale should be as they move forward, because it's being challenged year on year, and it's something that they should probably pay a little bit of attention to.
Well, let me wheel back to this guy right here on the screen, and I'm gonna ask you guys. I already know the answer to. I'm gonna just say it right out instead of asking you guys, and you guys can fill in some blanks. If I'm Ben Johnson, and I'm putting my first set of reps out on the field, and I want to establish my offense. First thing I'm going to do is go out there with a heavy set, and I'm going to target this guy early and often. I'm going to ignore the other two tight ends for a game and a half, maybe 2 games, until it becomes apparent that this guy is going to be a focal point of what we want to do as a receiver. It's the Jedi mind trick shit you got to do. Establish him as just not a piece that you're calling onto the field when you want to block or when you want to, do some weird stuff and open up other people. Nope. Establish him right away as a weapon in your offense. And next time you trot the other 2 receivers out there, do I give a lot of emphasis? Do I lean towards this guy because he's definitely a factor, or do I give these other guys who have proven themselves to be explosive credibility in our defense? I'm saying if I'm Ben Johnson early, and I'm talking about the first game, first 2 games, at least 3 games, maybe, establish this dude. And then start hiding them towards the middle of the season. And then later on in the season, open this shit back up. That makes any sense to you all?
So get him, let him learn, but then really use his skills to exploit other teams later in the season and the playoffs.
But establish him early as a weapon.
Well, see, here's the thing. Between Sam Roush, between Xavier Thomas, between Colston Loveland, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, Khalif Raymond, Manungai, Swift, Komet, not even, mentioning Jade Walker, anybody else, in the wide receiver or running back room. There's a lot of players to establish. Yep. And a lot of players to move away from after they've been established, so it's not like defenses are going to be like, hey, we stopped this guy, we're going to stop the Bears, or we stopped that guy, or these guys are going to stop the Bears, because this offense has been built and stacked with so much talent and so many threats that can take the top off and score, just get the ball in their hands. And so it's going to be, well, this week, this guy's hot. This week, this guy is hot. And so now the defenses are, looking at this guy. And so they're going to go to that guy. And so it seems as though the plan that you forecast of getting him established early, then going away from him and going to Xavier, going to Rome, going to Luther, etc., and then coming back to them all in some form or fashion later in the season, it sounds like a winning combination.
Yeah. Defensively, kids, before you go, defensively, you got to think in the eyes of a defensive coordinator. Coordinator is calling plays. He knows what he's seen in the offseason as far as your tape can tell. He knows what you like to do. He knows your sets. He knows your formations and all that kind of stuff. He knows it all. But he knew what you wanted to do out of it then. And that was the year prior. But this next year, he knows you want to go and bring some wrinkles to it, right? And so what would a defensive coordinator do? I'm going to answer my own question. First, he's going to play you off for probably about a quarter and a half, maybe 2 whole quarters. And then the second half, he's going to come out at you, with a whole lot more pressure, a whole lot more, physical man-to-man kind of coverages. That's typically how a defensive game goes for, early in the season when you don't know exactly how they want to attack the game. And so what I would say, when you got defenses going to play you off and see what you want to bring to the table, this is a perfect time to establish a tight end that isn't established so that you can hide him later. But go ahead, kids.
Yeah, both y'all brought up these points in a very interesting way. So, to be direct, the tight end isn't the guy that I would establish early. The guy I would establish early, very specifically, is Xavier Thomas. That's who I would establish early. Meanwhile,
of the tight ends,
I know
not of the whole repertoire of weapons we have. I'm talking about.
Well, this is why I'm saying both of you guys kind of brought it to me in an interesting way, because Tripp expanded it out to look at the offense as opposed to just the 3 tight ends. Now, if we're zeroing in on the 3 tight ends, the only reason that I would not necessarily establish Sam Roush early is simply because I want to see if Colston Loveland and or Cole Kmet, but more likely Colston Loveland, is he commanding a double team? Is he commanding more views from the offense?
He will not command a double team no time very soon, but maybe at some point during the season later. But no, he's established with us as fans in Chicago, but across the league, he's just another tight end.
Well, then that's what I want, though, right? Like if you're saying that, then I want to put my focus on Colston so that he commands a double team. so that teams are aware of Colston and they're focusing their defense on Colston. And now I layer in the other guy who we've been working out for a couple of weeks. That we
problem is, what are you going to do when they don't double team Colston? Just keep going to Colston.
No, I still have 7 other potential weapons to go to throughout the offense. But it just means that the impact
here, right?
It just means that the impact of the other tight end is going to be more of a specialized thing than a regular. Hey, we're going to hit Sam Roush all day long because y'all ain't paying attention to Sam Roush, right?
Man, it's the thing about Colston and Cole, you know what you're getting when you call their number. What the offense, the defense doesn't know is what you're getting when you call Sam Roush's number. And you establish that early, it just makes the other 2 tight ends more viable. And other people around them, of course, like you was talking about. But that is a smart way to go about it. Make sure that you got about, I look at the season in quarters, in about 4 quarters. You talking about the first 4 games, you want to really, really establish this guy and make sure that people know that he's just not a wall ornament. You know what I mean? If you
just a blocker.
Yeah. He's gonna do that anyway and be that kind of piece, a wall ornament a lot of times during the season. But if you establish him as a weapon early and often, he's just going to be a more effective wall ornament than he was any other way. That's all. All those other weapons are going to get into the game, do a whole lot of stuff. But you get this guy going early, now the defensive coordinators have to go back to the drawing board. They really do. So I'm elated with this signing. Right away when I knew we drafted him, I remembered the tape and I was just like, damn, this is a big bruising tight end. Okay, they really, really want to go hardcore after 13 personnel and really put a hurting on defenses early in games physically. That's the only reason to draft a guy like this early. And to sign him for 4 years, they're gonna physically put a whooping on teams.
And this comment's going to be a little bit grander than just Sam Roush, but if there was an offense in the NFL that you could compare what Ben Johnson has in place to, what offense would it be?
Well, it'd be 2 of them, Detroit and San Francisco.
Okay, there's the one I was looking for.
Detroit and San Francisco. I'll just say San Francisco probably 75 times more
than even Detroit
tight end in Detroit. But Detroit put a physical pounding on you in the run game like no other. But San Fran is right there in that company too.
That's the exact team I was hoping that you would fall on. Very specific, and I want Bears fans out there who are listening. Shout out to Paul Rodriguez who just jumped in. I want Bears fans to sort of take a step back and think about that San Francisco offense over the course of the last we'll just say since Kyle's been over, Kyle Shanahan, and you have your established tight end being George Kittle, you have your established fullback, quote unquote, being Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah.
You have your gadget guy being Deebo Samuel. And then you're kind of like trying to figure out the wide receiver position, but you've now fallen into a situation where you've got a decent quarterback and then went out and got one of the best running backs in the game. This Bears offense, it's not only very similar, but we have, in my opinion, a much better established wide receiver case scenario than San Francisco ever had. Mm-hmm. These 3 tight ends,
facts. And
I very much liken, like as soon as they drafted Sam Roush and I watched the tape, I was like, oh shit, this guy's Kyle Juszczyk, like right away. So you have your tight ends in place. All we're really missing is a quote unquote Christian McCaffrey. Xavier Thomas is about as close to Deebo Samuel as you're going to get, but different. And even, you can work him in just completely different and super cool ways than you ever could with Deebo. But yeah, like all of these things to be said, and a brilliant mind to work with all of this personnel. I'm just so excited to see this offense this year, because it could be a real thing, y'all.
Mm-hmm. And we still have to throw in those games where the run game will be more dominant, and so Roush will figure more in that role, as the lead pounder, for Swift, for Monangai. And so now he's a play action threat as well, so he has his own set of plays drawn up for this, that, and the other, as a use check, beyond just the leak out security blanket, if the play goes bad or what have you. So yeah, Sam Roush is a rookie who will definitely be looked at and have expectations to make a early difference, being that he's going to be on the field so much.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I'm going to tell you the last thing about Sam Roush and what makes me think what I'm thinking. I definitely go back to the Detroit tape, and when they were just throwing up points on people with reckless abandon. What Ben Johnson was saying in those play calling sequences that he was making was, yeah, you're going to know where we're going. We're going to run left. Yep. We're going to run right. Yep. And ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Stop it.
And then when you start keying in on run left, run right, stretch left, stretch right, we're going to pull the ball out. We're going to drop dimes on you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when you establish a physical game.
Like Corny saying there in the chat, what up, Corny? He's saying it's easy to see what Ben's strategy was in the draft. We're going for 40 points a game.
Yeah.
40 burgers.
Yep.
Incoming.
All right. Big up Cornell Bryant. And I'm going to speak for Keds here. And he's not comparing Xavier Thomas to Deebo Samuel, because Cornell Bryant saying he thinks that Thomas is more of a Tyreek Hill type. Mm-hmm. Being a fast receiver, that is comparable, but where the Deebo comparisons come in is the versatility and the ways that you can be lined up on the field from the backfield at any wide receiver position and even wildcat. Plus the return game.
If you want to put those two players sort of together, it kind of makes for Xavier Thomas. It's probably a good way of putting it. Xavier does have that type of speed and ability to separate, but Trip nailed it. Like you can move him all over the field in a similar way you can with Deebo Samuel. And I'm saying this as a guy who, like, I've never been a Deebo guy. Like I don't really believe in Deebo Samuel at all. But I understand what offensive coordinators do with a Deebo Samuel type, and it can be very frustrating to a defense. And I expect Ben to do that type of stuff with Xavier. So it's going to be interesting with all of this personnel. I think we're in for some really cool football in 2026. I don't know if that works out to wins or losses or what, but I guarantee it's going to be exciting as all hell. Is all I'm trying to tell you.
Shout out to AC Adam. Welcome on in, you guys.
Yes, AC.
What up, AC? And big up to Mojo Jojo Loco.
Yeah, man. Welcome on in, y'all. Here's the second signing that happened recently here. It's Big Mason Murphy out of USC, formerly from USC, but more recently from Auburn. He's a about 6'6", 315, 320-pound, big tackle. He's a right tackle. And this is a good signing. This is basically a good pointer to us as fans to have an indicator of what they like right now, who they like so far, and who's impressed them at this point far enough to where they're willing to give him a 3-year contract with some guaranteed money. And Mason Murphy was probably the best offensive lineman at USC, but realized that, okay, this ain't really giving me the notoriety. USC ain't really, in the thickest of anything. And I think he left because of the level of competition they face out there in the West. And he came right to the heart of where the competition was in the Southeastern Conference. And I think that was a good move for him. Competition level went up from game to game to game, and his stock went up. Even though he's a UDFA, it's hard to say somebody's stock went up when they're a UDFA, but at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what you get once you get to the NFL. How do you impress those coaches? And so I do think he's a tackle, but I do think he's a tweener. But this signing tells me that they're not sure who their true backup right tackle is.
That's what it tells me too. And that was like when this came up, I was like, oh, we really messing around in the tackle area still, man. I don't, just as a general comment, I don't like the fact that they don't know who their swing is right now. If that's what this is telling you as well, like that's what it's telling me. The swing position is kind of up for grabs. I think we've got 3 solid guys at the very least who should be well comfortable swinging over and taking care of the right side. The usual suspects are the usual suspects. I won't go and get into naming them.
Well, let's just real quick, kids, hold on. Right now, at excuse me, at the tackles, Darnell Wright, Theo Benedict.
Just go with the guys behind, who you don't think will be starting.
I'm just doing the right side.
Oh, you're just doing the right side? Okay, all right, that works.
All right, so Darnell Wright, who's expected to sign a contract extension soon. And then behind him is Theo Benedict. Now, is he a swing? Is he a right? But he's, right. So right now, right. Then Joshua Miles, and then Mason Murphy. Because on the left side, Jedrick Wills, who's always been a left tackle, Braxton Jones, who's always been a left tackle, and then Ozzie, who's probably going to be on the PUP list, then possibly Karan Amagaji, and also Theo Benedict. So right tackle wise, Mason Murphy has a path. You know what I mean? Because Theo's only on a 1-year deal right now.
So you're right. Trips is laying it out the right way. What I think is going on is we have established strong competition pretty much everywhere. But the right tackle, there's very limited competition there. It's Darnell Wright, and we don't know who else. And so to bolster that competition, they drafted and they brought in some guys. And they're doing it the right way, in my opinion. This is perfect. And so whoever shakes out as the second right tackle is going to have that guy that's going to be second on the depth chart behind Darnell Wright is going to have to take some reps over on the left side just to know that you can swing. So you might hear some stories during camp. Oh, they had Mason Murphy taking second team reps or something like that. Yeah, that's part of them grooming him to what he needs to do. And so in order to be a piece that's going to be on a 53-man roster, best believe you're going to have to do more as a backup than play right tackle.
Now, from what you've seen on his tape, you said he's a tweener, and but how do you? I'm taking that between guard and tackle, but how do you think he would look on the left side?
I was definitely thinking guard and tackle, but on the left side, only time will tell. Only time will tell. I can't tell you that I saw left tackle reps for Mason Murphy because I didn't. But obviously there's something about him and the way he plays that makes them feel that he can be dominant on the left side as well. And it's only going to be when they get in pads, we'll find out, okay, does he have the stuff? Rochard will see what he needs to see. And okay, let's just give him some more reps over here and we'll start working from there. We'll get him right technically and all of that kind of stuff. It is a wait and see situation for him. But they obviously saw enough. Maybe they saw some of that without pads and just like, oh, I like his. He kind of, floats over there to that side and it's kind of effortless to him. Let's see what happens in pads.
Well, what's crazy is they when you say they signed him, recognize this guy as a UDFA, and that means they quite literally have to give him money. So they put him on the books for just about $3 million, which is just sort of interesting to look at. It means that they liked what they saw and they think they can get something out of this player, and that's just me translating $3 million into just reality.
It's an investment.
It is to some degree an investment indeed, and that worries me, right? Like,
why does that worry you?
Because I want the other 4 people that are like at the tackle position to own the tackle position, if at all humanly possible, right? And we're talking about Jedrick, we're talking about potentially Braxton, like whoever does not win that left tackle job should have some stake in this, as well as Karan. Karan's huge, like 3rd round pick, really hasn't done anything, and at this point, like what this says to me, Karan may not be long for the Chicago Bears. Like let's just be honest here.
Yeah.
I would like to see Karan step up to the plate finally and find a position for himself on this team, man. Solidify his future on the Chicago Bears. That also goes for Theo Benedict, who I think played great last year. All 4 of those guys, in my opinion, really deserve not just a look, but deserve to like.
But look at what now. Remember, between Theo, Braxton, and Jedrick, as well as Karan, I think they all pretty much got 1 year left. But what was Corny's last comment? Now, Corny
Murphy
said
can play every position on the O-line, including.
One thing I didn't see him do was left tackle.
So his versatility is already kind of making him more valuable than like the aforementioned guys.
That's helpful.
So think about it this way, kids. When I started talking about depth, what is my main complaint all off season and during the season while we was having it? What was my main complaint about depth?
That we didn't have any.
Exactly. This is investing in your depth. This is what this move is. And so however this plays out, whether it's Karan, whoever, Theo, doesn't matter. It's about making sure the competition is solidified so that everybody knows your feet are to the fire. And I need to see the best you. Because what we got coming behind you is somebody that we think is going to push the best you out of you.
So because I want the attitude to be like, hey, Mason Murphy, hey, Theo, you lucky you can swing because Murphy's taking your spot at right, son.
Theo's
now if Murphy is that, valuable as far as depth for other positions as well, I want that competition, to push out, I'm not saying bad players, but we want better players. We can't get, in love with names of certain guys when there are other guys that's coming in that are more talented that are like, oh yeah, for long term, you're going to be better for the team. So, I just want good competition and, may the best players play.
One of the things about Auburn's line when I was watching those reps about Mason Murphy was Auburn probably had one of the best lines in college football, quietly. Their record won't reflect that, but they had one of the best, more versatile lines in college football. They had multiple players like Mason Murphy that could move from position to position seemingly, just seamlessly. And that's what I liked about some of those guys. They had another guy, number 75. Sometimes he's guard, sometimes he's tackle, sometimes he's center, sometimes he's the other guard. And you could tell who the best 2 offensive linemen they had on the team were. It was 75 and 76. 76 being here, Mason Murphy. He was clearly the best offensive lineman on that team. And he was the leader of that group. And so what they just brought in was a leader, not only a leader, but a versatile one as well. That can kind of, hey, if somebody's hurt, hey, Mason, I need you to kick in there. I know you didn't take that many reps this week. I need you to come in there and get us out this game. No problem, coach. Boom. He's out there on the field. And so who has the most to lose? Yes, it's Theo Benedict and Kieran Amagaji. They're going to have to step it the F up.
Well,
it also. Oh, I'm sorry, Kez. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying from a competition perspective, it's good to have. For me, it's just the fact that they put money in his pocket, right? Like that's where things make a little bit of a difference for me.
What does that tell you, kids? What does that tell you?
It tells me two things, right? The first one is they believe in this player, and it also tells me they probably believe a little bit less in one of the guys who's on the team right now, right? Like those are two things that it tells me. That's why I'm saying it's a little bit worrisome.
It should tell you those two players that you're thinking about was thrust upon the team, and they just wanted to see what they had. And the other thing it should tell you is
hand-me-downs.
Yeah, it should be. These are the guys that we want to build from the ground up. And if either one of these two guys stay around, that means they stepped up their level. And so that's what that tells me.
But now I also like the character of Mr. Murphy by saying, hey, USC, SoCal, you know what I'm saying, all co-eds, hey, nah, bump all that. I want to increase my draft stock by increasing my football IQ by going, into the Lions Den, if you will, to the SEC. No, I'm not going to focus on, one position. I'm going to have the versatility. Now, of course, that may have hurt his draft stock if he was just like a dedicated right tackle. But hey, he's undrafted. He gambled on himself, and he got a $3 million contract, UDFA. So
$3 million more than I personally have. So
you know what I mean? So his drive, his determination, his willingness to, put it all out there. I like that, and I think that's part of the character that Ryan Poles looks for with the love of football as well as Ben Johnson. But then the Ben Johnson aspects come, with his Murphy's versatility and his athleticism as well.
I think some of the guys that they picked up now, I know Mason Murphy got the guarantees, but don't sleep on another big kid they got out of Utah too. I can't think of his name right now.
Jaron Kump.
Yeah, he didn't get the money yet, but don't sleep on him, turning out to be a player in this mix too. They invested in the line this year, and some of these UDFAs that people just kind of write off as, they're just no.
Man, he got the same. Would you believe he got the same deal?
Did he?
$3 million?
Almost dollar for dollar. I'm just going to back up here just to make sure that I'm not lying. But
he did. I missed it.
Mason Murphy's making $5,000 more.
Wow, that's jump change.
Almost dollar for dollar, the same deal between him and Kump. So it also bodes well for Jaron Kump. I had no idea. Crazy.
Well, yeah. But now I do remember that Jaron Kump, he was also the leader of his offensive line. Was it Utah, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he has versatility. But if you look at what is happening right now with these UDFAs and young offensive linemen, this regime is now drafting their prototypes, their wants, and developing them, because, we expect Darnell Wright to be here for a minute, but, Jonah Jackson ain't no spring chicken. We're looking at the center we just drafted from Iowa. What's his name?
God.
Jones, Logan Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, projected to be the future in the middle of the line. We don't know how many years Tooney has left, and left tackle's a question mark. So the development of these young offensive linemen is not to be ignored, because we will be seeing these young players contribute, if not this season, definitely down the road as they're being developed.
Hey, you guys do us a favor and hit the like and subscribe for us. Just stop for a second, jump out, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe on all 3 channels, the Kids of Canuck, on Keds Canuck channel and on Sports Chicago Style. Make sure you stop and hit the like, share, and do all that, and subscribe to all the channels. It's free. This is probably something we didn't emphasize more on the show, but I'm going to say this now, and it's going to be a hot take. I think once again this year, Coach Dan Rochar is going to be the secret sauce to however good this offense is going to be.
Let's go.
It's because of the investments in the offensive line, the development of the offensive line, which he was brought here to do. He's a master at it. I don't know how he does it, but if you listen to Terran Armstead, he does it in a very discreet way. He is not allowed in your face spitting, do this, do that. No, he's going to challenge you to make you think within yourself, to bring the best out of yourself. And I love that about everything. All the earmarks about this offensive line starts to make me think this is going to be one of the more dominant bunches in the league when he's done with this, and they're just really getting started with it.
And it was a really interesting point to put on this offensive line conversation is that Ben Johnson, working, directly with Coach Rochar on the offensive line on, installs or designs or what have you, because Ben Johnson, we think of him being the guy that gets all these receivers open and in the space, but he is very involved, very detail oriented with the run game. So the aspects of the cohesiveness with the staff and having the same visions for the players and the goals, I think we're going to be seeing that in the development as we saw in last year's draft class.
People, you know what, Trips? People forget. They see all the flashy splash plays that happen in an NFL offense from week to week, and they forget how all this stuff happens. It is all predicated on how much you invested in the trenches and how well those guys operate together. Those guys, if you haven't made the investment and those guys don't operate very well together, you got a basically a shipwreck just floating out there waiting for the last, missile to come sink it. So I love what we're doing, bro.
I'm just gonna say this out loud as well now. So now that I've gone and looked at Jaron Kump, I'm not so sure. I don't know if Garrett Bradbury makes it through camp.
There you go again.
Well, no, I can't agree with that because I'll tell you why.
No.
When Ryan Poles traded for Garrett Bradbury from New England, that was, right after
it was a knee-jerk reaction to Drew Dolan.
Buddy retired.
Yeah.
So that was, the quick, reaction. And the reaction, the quality of player is good. Granted, he's older, but it was like, yeah, that's cool. He can be a bridge guy to, our younger center. And so now, with that retirement, what was his name?
Drew Dolan.
Drew Dolan, thank you. With Dahlman's retirement, now it's like, all right, we got Bradbury, cool. But now what did they do? They drafted a second-round center who's already, 25 years old. So he's ready to compete now. And theoretically, I would see that if Logan Jones steps up, at the beginning of camp, and he's like, hey, I can handle this starting center position. He's making all the calls. He knows everything that he needs to know. Now Bradbury becomes expendable. And it's not like, he just needs to get cut, get him out of here kind of thing. It becomes now he's a tradable asset because you have, all these younger offensive linemen behind him developing. You got your starter in Jones, and you hope that everyone stays healthy, obviously. But if worse comes to worse, you have other players that they're developing to take those spots because of so many players with the versatility. So now Bradbury becomes a tradable asset to flip for something that you need, whatever position that may be, or a draft pick, down the road, whatever.
I understand where y'all going. I think y'all just rushing to a point, and I'll tell you why. The only thing you're leaving out of that conversation is the coach's mind. Coach's mindset is you know how hard it is to establish chemistry between 5 offensive linemen. Rep in, rep out, rep in, rep out. Okay, fixing this, fixing that, tightening this, tightening that. And once you do find the symmetry, one thing about coaches I can tell you to be the truth, they don't want to F up nothing once they got it going. So Garrett Bradbury is, once they find symmetry, he ain't coming out that. I don't care how good you think Logan Jones is, and I think he's a stud.
So let me put you on pause there with your comment.
Hold on. I'm telling you, the mindset of a coach is to not F this up.
I agree. And why I wanted to put you on pause there is that, do you want to establish some level of cohesion with a player that you only have under contract for 1 year when you've got 3 potential centers that are signed for multi-year deals?
Coaches don't look past a year. They look into this year. GMs do all that.
And as a GM,
but follow what I was just saying.
Your roster saying, I got these 3 guys that can play center, and I got an older guy on a 1-year deal who I could possibly trade.
I'm just saying,
I want Logan Jones to build that relationship,
that cohesion. Like I'm just talking about cohesion.
Love y'all, but y'all straight pipe dreaming right now.
What's that?
Yeah, I love y'all, but y'all straight pipe dreaming right now.
No,
that's where it's going.
There'll be no flipping of no centers right now. He's going to play, if everything goes right and they develop chemistry and symmetry between each other, he's going to be.
This is what I'm asking you, right?
Like, kids is what I'm trying to tell you.
Do you want to build chemistry and symmetry with a player that you do not have not have under contract?
Yes, so that you can win
next year. But you could do that potentially with Logan Jones.
Why would you want to put a if that was the case, Bradbury would never be here if they wanted to put a rookie center under Caleb Williams.
He was drafted before. Sorry, they traded.
Then they drafted Jones.
They traded for him as a knee.
Because when they traded for Bradbury, they didn't have a center because Dahlman retired. So there was no center.
And also
the draft was still down the road.
Also consider the fact that Bradbury doesn't know this offense yet, and neither does Logan. They're both starting from scratch, right?
Yeah.
Both of them are. So
Bradbury have to royally screw this up is the best thing I can tell you.
Well, no, I don't think it's a point of Bradbury screwing it up. I think it's just, does Logan Jones look good enough?
Yeah.
Because if you look at the trajectories of their careers, we're expecting Logan Jones to be ascending, whereas we know what Bradbury was and what he is, but he's 31 years old. So the future is Logan Jones. And it's like, I get, Bradbury's the veteran. So you want, to win this year. So you put him in there, but if Jones can build the rapport and repertoire now, that's better for the team going forward in the long term.
Guess what? When they get into camp, when they start going through the regimen of practice, and the team and Ben Johnson has all this practices set up for the entire camp, and they're kind of sussing out who I want to have reps here, who I want to have reps there. And we need to get a certain amount of reps to install this, a certain amount of reps to install that. Guess who's going to be the first one up? It's going to be Garrett Bradbury. And unless Bradbury F's this up royally, which I doubt because he's a pro center, Bradbury's going to be the guy. And Logan Jones is going to be the heir apparent and a real close second.
Mm-hmm.
Just being honest with y'all, man. Coaches don't want to F that up once they got that chemistry developed, once they can communicate with each other flawlessly and everybody knows what they can do and they execute very well. Ain't no coach in the league just because they have drafted a center high and they want him to be the heir apparent going to just say, you know what, let's get rid of this guy and let's put this rookie on. No, man, don't work like that.
Well, it's not like we're getting rid of a guy that's ever played here before.
This is what I'm saying. You're establishing this, like all the work that you're talking about with respect to cohesion and comfortability with the scheme and the line play and the players around him. It's 6-1 for Bradbury, 6-1 for Logan Jones, right? You could plug either one of these guys in there and potentially get the same results. You're starting from scratch either way. So do you want to start from scratch with a guy who isn't under contract, or do you want to start from scratch with a guy who's already signed up here for the next 4 years?
No, man.
As long as the rookie can play,
I think he should play. Yeah.
Right.
Dog, if he don't have to play, I think the rookie should sit his ass down and wait and keep getting practice reps and getting ready for when his time comes. And that's where we at.
Because I just don't want to get Caleb, comfortable with Bradbury,
and then he's gone next season.
That's
exactly. So let's get deep into that for a minute. So Bradbury performs admirably in 2026. Let's say he's one of the better centers in 2026, which means the Bears now have to come back to the table in 2027 and go, okay, Garrett, you were great. We got to pay you now because you're not under contract with us. We got to pay you moving forward. And they got a whole bunch. I guess 2026 is probably the best time for this situation for Garrett Bradbury. 2027. I'll be honest, because again, there's a lot of potential movement they could do from a financial perspective. But again,
his age?
Thank you. Right. So maybe the Bears might be like, okay, so we don't really want to pay you. Logan has come along quite a bit behind the scenes. We want to plug Logan in now. So that leaves Garrett Bradbury in a very Garrett Bradbury positive situation. He can go to any team in the league, get paid very well, but the whole cohesion that you just brought into scope goes right out the fucking window again. So now you got to really build this all up with Logan minus a year's worth of reps.
The problem is what you're leaving out is it's not like Logan is on Saturn right now and not knowing anything about what we do here in Chicago. He's been here the whole time. And that's cachet that's, you wouldn't even realize that you're leaving out of the conversation, but he's there all the time getting reps with these guys. He's going to get some reps with Caleb. He's going to see how Caleb operates. Caleb's going to see how he operates, but he's just not going to be the starter. And so that's what, to me, makes it a seamless transition. It's a perfect transition is because he's already getting those reps and getting some of that chemistry established now in situations that you won't never see because it won't happen on a practice field that you'll get to watch. Those things are going to happen. And so they will prepare Logan Jones to take this role. It's just you won't see it. It'll quietly be going on, and you'll be like, "Hey, man, we got to look." Yeah, it's that's the way the NFL works. You got a up and coming quarterback that is rising. Last thing you want to do to have him have setbacks is to put a rookie on him. I don't care how good he is under him, and so that's why Garrett Bradbury is going to be an integral part of what we do. Now, Garrett Bradbury could very well F this up at some point in camp, and they have to put Logan Jones in there, and then we got another conversation. That's possible. But right now, it's Garrett Bradbury's job to lose. Just telling you. You don't want to mess that up right now. Logan Jones is going to get plenty of reps with Caleb. And when it's his time, he's going to execute. This is the perfect scenario for the Bears. Perfect. You're not putting the guy on the field when he doesn't need to be on the field, per se. You're giving him time to make sure that he has a good handle and grasp on this offense, and you're not just pushing him out on the field while he's learning. I love it.
Mm-hmm. So by the trading deadline, he should be good to go.
Okay, Trips. All right. Leave that alone. But the next guy, he also got some money. I found out today. I don't know exactly when it happened. I've been gone. But you guys are going to like this. I think Trips loves this guy. Omari Kelly got a guarantee. He got a 3-year deal. Now, you know what, Trips, what do you think of this guy? Because you said it a couple times on the show, but I see this guy as definitely a slot receiver.
Yeah, I looked at his Michigan State there, and he was, usually in the slot. But I also noticed that, wearing the number 1, he was, the go-to guy. You see the downs and distances, and when they needed it, they went to Kelly. And he was usually able to cash it in. So, he has a long road ahead of him, in the wide receiver room, as long as everybody stays healthy. But, the investment, there we go with that word again, into this UDFA for 3 years, that shows that, this regime, this staff, this front office, they see something that they like and they want to develop. And now Khalif Richards, Khalif Raymond being here, is going to give Kelly, plenty of opportunity to chill on the practice squad and learn from him, being the slot guy that he is, and get his body stronger and more mature, and bring him right along. So this is the development we're seeing.
Do you remember Jade Walker getting the guarantee this quick? And
no.
Okay, that's different. That's different. I noticed that, but carry on, man. I just had to ask.
No, that was pretty much it. He looks like a young, talented kid that they believe in and want to develop. So I don't really expect him to get any reps this year whatsoever. I could see the ceiling being the practice squad. So, with some of that money in his pocket, I think it makes it a little bit harder for other teams to sign him. But, they would just have to match those numbers, as opposed to, being on the practice squad making, $50,000 a week or whatever practice squad minimums are.
He's not making that. He's signed, Doc.
You know what this move makes me think, and you guys might see this as a wild take, but I definitely don't see it this way. Omari Kelly is there to solidify the slot position. What that means to me, when I start thinking about people like Luther Burden in particular, I think they want him to be more Z or X primarily, and they want this slot position that we saw Luther Burden as a slot receiver when we first got him, and we thought that he was going to come in there and be doing a whole lot of slot work, which he probably still will.
Uh-huh.
But primarily, I think he's going to be an X or Z. What difference does it make? That from a formation standpoint, that makes him, kind of puts him in a box, but you're going to expect more from Luther Burden from the outside, whether it be X or Z, than from the slot. When you see Luther Burden in the slot, it's going to be kind of a anomaly in the offense. And they just want to wiggle him free. They see a matchup they like, and they want to get Luther on that receiver. But primarily, the guys you're going to see in the slot is going to be this guy, it's going to be Khalif Raymond, and it's going to be Xavier Thomas. Yeah. I think they have solidified the primary slot receivers right here.
And I think also that we don't say his name enough, but White Chocolate, JP Richardson, every workout that I've seen, in the offseason with Coach Randall L and the wide receiver crew, JP Richardson's been right there. And he's been primarily a slot guy, his career, his collegiate career. So with year of development that he's been putting in, I could see him also, being just a bit ahead of Kelly because of a little bit more experience for that slot role.
I think go ahead, kids.
No, you go, bro. While I'm doing this, you go ahead.
No, I was just saying, man, the stuff I've seen on tape is just playmaker material. He's just playmaker material. He's a true playmaker, and it doesn't matter where he lines up. Mm-hmm. He can be out there wide at Z or X and make plays from there just as easily as he can from the slot. But he's definitely more dangerous from the slot because he's a true route runner.
But the beautiful thing is, he's a weapon.
Yep.
And the more weapons, the merrier. Let them get in where they fit in. Slot, wide, tight, it don't matter. The more weapons the more opportunities Ben Johnson has to exploit a defense.
You know,
So
go ahead, man.
I'm looking at the roster right now. I don't see JP Richardson on the. Oh, my bad, John Richardson.
Yeah, like John Paul or something.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. Cool. I was trying to find him on the roster just to see what they've done with him. But here he is in similar capacity. He's got a 1-year deal. I don't know what happens with JP Richardson, but I'm just kind of surprised. I guess maybe I'm not surprised that there's an additional wide receiver on this football team. Really?
And then we forgot about Scotty Miller as well.
Yeah,
I think he's probably, if these guys perform, talking about JP
Chase
and Omari Kelly, Scotty Miller will just be a camp body. But if they don't, Scotty Miller is there for that insurance, a proven guy. That's a piece of insurance tape right over the young guys that are developing underneath that security tape. Scotty Miller's right there in case this shit don't work out. They know what they're getting out of him.
Break in case of emergency.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, one of the questions I had since the minute this happened, how do they replace somebody as impactful as DJ Moore is? They're replacing it with depth.
Yeah. I mean, we are looking at all the mouths to feed, and it's like, oh yeah, there's only one ball to go around, and we got all these mouths and all those reps that DJ had. We got plenty more talent to spread those amongst.
One of the things I will say, man, about Omari Kelly, just to finish my thoughts about him, I don't think you can really, calculate how tough this guy is. This guy is so, man, I know they probably got him listed as $175 or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe even more. But that guy plays during the season probably about $165. But boy, is he tough. I'm talking about going in and doing the routes that really don't nobody want to run when you this size. This guy does it and makes the play. Absorbs the hit, gets up every single time. His physical toughness is relatable to me, to my love for the game. You ain't taking me out.
At $165, bro. That's like, I remember how they were clowning what's his name now?
Bro,
wide receiver in the Eagles, man. Not the one who's left there. Damn.
During the season, man, people don't realize you lose a lot of muscle mass during the season. So you can come in the game. He could start off the season at $185, $190. By the time this is all said and done, the rigors of a 17 game NFL season, he's down 10, 15 pounds on pure muscle, because that's how much the game will take out of you.
No. Is it Deshaun Jackson?
Deshaun Jackson was pretty light, man.
Is that who? Why am I feeling it's not Deshaun?
It's probably Deshaun.
No, it's Smith. Devontae Smith. Because when Devontae came in, he came in at $185, and everybody's like, "Yo, you're skinny. You're not going to survive."
$185.
You might have been lighter than that.
Yeah, he's about like 168, 170.
Okay, even lighter than that, right? That's what they were clowning him about. He's played well. He's done a great job over there, and he hasn't really
wasn't even
caught the injury bug. But he was slim.
75, leaving his grandma's house after Thanksgiving.
Jeez, that's what I'm saying. Like, if Devontae can do it, cool. This is pretty slight if you're talking like $165 in the NFL, man. You can get hit, bro. Hit hard.
Tough as this guy is, that's one of the things I always. I remember some guys around me playing football from high school to college. Man, everybody counted out because they were so light. Everybody kind of treated him with kid gloves. Oh no, man, take it easy, man. He's little, man. Them little motherfuckers be the baddest dudes out there.
That's
the baddest dudes out there, straight up.
That's why St. Brown works, man, because St. Brown is rocked up. And that's one thing that I can say about him over in Detroit. He's cut out of stone. Both them boys are. Both them St. Brown boys are. So, in the slot, being a smaller guy, I get it. But NFL's an MF, man. When it comes to them hits, you never know what you're gonna get, what's coming your way on any given Sunday.
I think this is your 2026 version of Jade Walker in 2025. He's gonna get his opportunities, and when he does, he's gonna get the crowd up. I'm telling you, he's a player. Trips, you know that. You saw it. All that dude did was make plays on his film.
You think he sees the field this year?
Yeah, he get out there at some point.
I mean, if everybody's healthy, maybe limited reps, and like a specific packages they got him in, but everybody's healthy. I don't know, bro. I mean, but if we want to look at it from the same aspect that we just did at center, and that if a young Logan Jones was ready to displace and make Bradbury, expendable, between, Kelly and other wide receivers, pushing, can they make Raymond, expendable by the trade deadline?
So the answer to that one is yes. But I obviously I don't expect Amari Kelly to be the guy who takes the brass ring and runs with it after that. I expect obviously for it to be Xavier Thomas.
Here's an interesting question, Kez and Trips. You sign Amari Kelly to a 3-year deal. Now you're juggling roster spots down at the receiver position. You got 53 to keep. Who do you keep on the 53? Or do you take a chance of putting Amari Kelly on the practice squad? Or does that 3-year contract kind of protect him on the practice squad because nobody wants to pick it up?
Because that's what I thought. That's what I thought it was, of the difference of, like, if I thought that if the organization paid a practice squad player like a certain contract amount, that made some sort of difference. If they do, let's say, put Kelly or Hudson or any UDFA on a practice squad, even with signed to a contract, the new team would have to honor that same contract then, right?
So new team has to honor the same contract. New team can also negotiate a better contract, which is generally what actually happens. Like, two things usually happen. Number one, if a new team's coming to poach you off a practice squad, they usually want to actually play you. So that's the biggest factor. You can't hold a player down on a practice squad and make it so that he can't play football. If he has the opportunity to play football, he goes, right? So that's aspect.
But it makes it a little bit difficult for the next team to want to come and mess with that contract, though, right?
Well, but you're right. But again, from what I'm seeing here, especially just given the financials that I've been looking at here, these deals are in and around the same. So Amari Kelly's making $5 million less than the last guy I was saying was making $5 million less than the last guy I was saying. Like, they're all around the exact same. They're all around the same numbers. So it's kind of negligible.
5 million.
5,000. Did I say 5 million?
Yeah, you said 5 million.
My bad. $5,000 difference. It's really negligible difference between the three. End of the day, that next team can come over and go, okay, well, we'll pay you X amount more. Right? And it's a money thing. It is a play thing. If both of those things are in line, player's gone, they're on the other team. And at that point, they can't put them on the practice squad. You're putting them on the 53.
All you gotta do is give a count right now, just a head count, and look at the roster or the depth at receiver. They'll probably keep. I know they'll keep 6 or 7 of them, but how many you keep on a 53-man roster? We talking about at least 5.
Oh, it's gonna be. This is Ben Johnson we're talking about here. It's going to be the man just got another wide receiver in July. You know what I'm saying? So I expect there to be more than 5 because 5 is.
Go ahead.
I was just saying 5 is Rome, Luther, Xavion, Jade Walker, Khalif Raymond. There's 5. So we've got 3 to 4 more wide receivers, I believe, floating around.
Yeah, JP, Scotty Miller, Amari Kelly, Maurice Alexander, Kyron Hudson, and Caden Davis.
Holy smokes.
I think right now he looks like if they keep 6 on the roster on the 53, he's got to be number 6.
I don't think they keep 6 on the 53. I think they keep 5. They put all 4 of those guys on the practice squad, and we see what happens. Worst come to worst, they pull somebody off. But
he does touch the practice squad, probably several times this year. It's going to be times where he's activated and on the roster on the 53, depending on who they playing, and reasons for him to be there will be nothing but coaches' decisions. But this is a guy that will taste the practice squad. How we're gonna probably struggle to keep him.
Interesting.
That's I guess, what is it, the expression, first world problems, to where it's like, damn, we got so much talent on our team that other teams are poaching our practice squad players because they can't even get on the squad.
Yep.
It's other teams out there for sure value Amari Kelly and looking at chops at a chance to get their hands on him. Trust me, we ain't the only ones that value Amari Kelly.
And the question would be, why would him and the others be making so much? Is it because they had other offers from other teams, and the Bears outbid them as UDFAs?
Well, that's an interesting comment, Trip, because really these are our UDFA talents that are signing on for 3-year deals. And I'm not saying that these 3-year deals are exorbitant big money, but still it's a 3-year commitment, which I find a little bit weird, right? Like if you're just going to sign on a UDFA, in my opinion, you do it for 1 or 2, see what happens, cut bait if it ain't working out. 3 years, that seems to be like an actual investment in a player. So maybe you're bang on here. Maybe this is just damn, Amari Kelly was being looked at by the Patriots and like we didn't want him to go over there, or maybe the Packers are looking at him, we don't want him to go over there, and then have the same mentality for your Marlon Murphy and your Jaron Kump. But I don't know.
The only thing that makes sense to me is the structure of the contract makes it more difficult if we have to put him on the practice squad for other teams to deal with. Kind of helps secure him, because you're right, they can get him, and once they get him on the roster, they can ask him to restructure his contract. He doesn't have to, because he's already got something with Chicago. And so that kind of builds in kind of a indirect barrier with him, I guess. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Well, if you keep him on the 53, it does. Once you put him on that practice squad, Bill Belichick comes knocking, or like he's not even a coach, but like if somebody comes knocking and says, "Hey, look, I'll pay you $1 million more and put you on the field," he's out of here. There's no loyalty, no questions about it. I get to play football and I make more money. Where do I sign? See you. Peace.
You got to be pretty desperate, because teams are pretty tight with that kind of stuff with practice squad players. And so I think they did it right, putting that contract on him, guaranteeing him a certain amount of money. He doesn't have a choice if a team picks him and says, we want you to put. He can always say, I don't want to play for you. I want to play with Chicago. Don't waste your time. He can do that. His agent can do that.
Yeah, that's why we just
gotta hope. We gotta hope that the positions that we don't want to lose players at, that everybody stays healthy around the league at those positions.
I just
because if something happens and now teams that weren't shopping for a wide receiver from another team's practice squad, now they are. We want to avoid those situations as much as possible.
Yeah, he can. That thing can go another way. You know, he can get scouted by another team, and he's already got that guaranteed money in the bank. That money is in the bank. And
Money in the bank.
And some other team comes in and wants to grab him. I'm telling you, this I think we stand a good chance of keeping him on the roster because there's always injuries and always, you know, it's stuff that happens, knocking on wood. But we need this guy to stay with the Bears with the C on his helmet, man, to see this out, man. I really think anything they can do to get this guy on the 53-man roster is going to be important.
Yeah, he's a baller. He's a baller.
So,
in your opinion, both of you, because I haven't had the chance to look at Omari Kelly, if you were to compare him to Squirrel White, what's your, how would you feel about that comparison? Either one of you.
I tell you, one would be way more explosive down the field and way more big play capabilities, and that would be Squirrel White. The other one is more dynamic in between the hashes, in between the numbers, and can bring more to the table. Squirrel's tough too, but this guy's proven to be game in and game out, hit in and hit out. I can absorb that punishment and get up and get to the next play.
And just from my looking at it, because Squirrel is what the Volunteers, Tennessee, and their utilization of him in their offense was just different than what Michigan State did. Whereas Michigan State was, more of a grind it out, 3 plays for a first down, move it down the field. And Tennessee was more of a kind of, hey, let's get some chunk plays. Mm-hmm. Squirrel White benefited with those chunk plays because, he was fast and squirrely, hence the name. But Omari Kelly was, Michigan State's workhorse. He was their stud. And also he's bigger at 6 feet, 188 pounds, and he runs, a 4.4. So he's not small and he's not slow. So his toughness and, his intelligence, because they utilized him in so many different formations and lining up all around the field, he's, I think, more rounded a prospect than Squirrel White.
Let me say it to kids like this, kids. When I say the title possession receiver, what do you think I mean by that?
Generally 50-50 ball guy. That would be the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay, that's part of it, but how about the 3rd and 7? I need somebody to make a short yardage catch that's physically tough, can go up and get the ball, come down, absorb a hit, get up.
Okay.
He was that player at his size on Michigan State. Tripp saw it.
Right. When you need it, they went to him. And the other team knew they were going to him, but they still went to him.
That's the difference between him and Squirrel White.
Okay. Sounds a little bit more like a DJ Moore. But again, you're saying a
little bit smaller.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Similar skill set, but smaller stature.
Okay.
That's I don't even know if I express how impressive that is. At a Big Ten school, at his size and stature, you're the possession receiver. You're the go-to player on the 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. When you're going to get blasted. You run into traffic, making a contested catch. I know he's going to come down with the ball. The quarterback trusts me. Game in, game out, it was number 1.
Obviously he's wearing the number 1 for a reason.
Huh.
That's not a number that Rudy Poots get to wear.
All right. I just wanted to sort of get a bit of a comparison there because in my opinion, he's sort of the Squirrel White replacement, but it sounds like he's
better.
I was going to say, it sounds like he may be a potential upgrade, which is great.
Squirrel White ain't out of it too, by the way. Whatever's going on with him, there's an opportunity for him to wiggle his way back into the situation by way of the way the NFL standards are set up. I'll get into that a little bit later on, but I looked into that situation and there's a pathway back to this team if they want him to have a pathway back to the team.
Now, wasn't he hurt or something?
He retired.
Yeah, it's something went on there. Something went on there, but he did it the right way. I googled this stuff, and it's way back to the team, and he could. I guess they would call this, when I was playing football, a hardship case, where something happened and somebody needed to make a decision. He didn't want to be cut. He still wanted to play football, but I need to spend more time doing something else. He can declare a hardship. That was the terminology when I was playing football. This era, this different now. It's different now. So he could, who knows, man.
So he got some old personal, something's going on, outside. So, deal with that.
Just retire and put that on paper. So that gives you an option when you want to come back.
But, selfishly as a fan, our room is, I think, pretty deep without him. There's guys battling just to make the roster. So our talent level is much, much, much improved. Thank you, Ryan Poles. Finally,
boy, Squirrel White would have been a nice. That is a bad little dude, boy.
Yeah.
But
I hope everything works out for him. Everything's good.
Yeah, I have no clue what the real story is behind all that, and to be honest with you, I don't even want to know. But good on him in either capacity in retirement. Big ups to you, Squirrel. And if somehow you find your way back onto the Bears, we would love to have you back if that's the situation. But
welcome with open arms.
Yeah, man. Such is life, right?
Well, that's the story on Omari Kelly. I'm glad they signed him and saw the value in him to make sure he's on this 2026 roster somehow, some way. And hopefully they got the shit squared up so that he can stay with the C on his helmet. And we'll see how this plays out. But they sound a great piece, man. Somebody that I think is going to acclimate well to what we do, physical football player, and it's a playmaker. And that's what we need, playmakers all over the field. So we're going to move away from current Chicago Bears into possibly future Chicago Bears. And I have a few people to talk about, but instead of doing that, I got one extra guy to talk about. But let me start here, man. I got two extra guys to talk about, but we run a long time because I got stuff to do with my girlfriend being off, man. And I've been gone for a week. So imagine that. But this right here, this is Marcus Davenport. Previously spent 5 years with the New Orleans Saints, of course, with Dennis Allen. Ended up moving from Dennis Allen to, I want to say, Minnesota or Detroit. I don't know which one happened first or second, but he went to both places, and he had some injury riddled seasons in Detroit specifically. He's coming off his last season with Detroit, came off of an elbow injury. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Depending on how this thing develops in camp with the edge rushers, depending on how this develops, when they put the pads on, if things aren't looking the way that Dennis Allen expects it to look, and the coaches delight, and they like what they're looking at, I guarantee you, at some point during this camp or after camp, if it's not right, Marcus Davenport will be a Bear. 29 years old, 6'6", 285 pounds. He's perfect. No thoughts? I can continue.
You're gonna have to. Man, I'm just at that level where I don't think they're going to do anything at this position. I don't think they really want to invest any more money at this position. And I think we're just going to find out what it looks like this season. And same token, fingers crossed, all positive thoughts, is that Austin Booker just jumps off the film all the way through 2026. And that's kind of where my head is with this one. But we're going to find out what it actually looks like over the course of the next month and a bit in reality. Because I think everybody knows they left this thing alone, and they've been leaving it alone, and we're not really sure that they're in a good position. So, Marcus Davenport is just one of those guys on that list of guys that they might go and fetch. I don't know. And let me say this as plainly as I can. I'm not sure if you half-ass this thing this time around, right? Like if the position isn't solid and you're worried about it, putting $6 million towards that problem is likely not going to fix the problem. Just
First
going
of all, you ain't gonna spend $6 million on them because
okay,
he's coming off of 2 injuries with Detroit, and for the first time in Marcus Davenport's career, 5 years with Indy. I mean, with New Orleans with Dennis Allen, a couple more years with some other teams. This would be the first time he has to play supplemental football, so he doesn't have to be the guy play in and play out, which helps. This is why it helps a guy that's had a couple injury problems here and there. You don't have to go out there and play 60 reps.
Right. Granted, he's 29 years old, so he's beyond prove it deals, but with his health, this is a prove it kind of deal.
Yes.
Maybe he's holding out for a team that playoff type team. And maybe the Bears do need just a little bit more of a oomph, after the pads go on. With the familiarity with Dennis Allen, if Dennis Allen was like, yeah, I'd sign off on him and we need him, cool. It's kind of irritating that we would need him, but, it'd only be for a year. And if it's necessary, it's necessary, but we're just hoping it's not necessary.
Amen to that. One other thing, let me just say this. I just need to get this for a take for his shorts. One thing I know about Marcus Davenport, speed to power is what you need in a 4-3 defense from an edge rusher. Speed to power, you need to be powerful. You need to be quick. You need to be fast. He's all of that and some. And he's a great compliment to Montez Sweat. They're similar guys in that regard. Both big, both powerful, both sets a firm edge in the run game. Man, this would be a perfect stopgap situation for us. Perfect. The guy is, he's just stout and powerful as they come as an edge rusher in a 4-3 defense. This is what they need. This is really what they need right here. To have a good rotation after Austin Booker or Montez Sweat goes out. You need to have a proven guy. This guy doesn't have to take starter reps, and that's going to me, save him for the long haul. This is a perfect situation for Chicago.
Very interesting. Yeah. Dollars and cents would likely make sense. I just don't know. We've been hoping they would make some level of a move at this position for God knows how long. I just don't see it at this point. I just, I don't know.
They're just waiting. They don't feel like they have to be aggressive right now with it. And it's July. And that's why they don't feel that way.
Huh. But right when camp, starts to start getting fired up, the vets like Davenport and all the other old schoolers will be like, all right, agent, where are we going?
Yep.
And then they'll, roll into camp, a week late, and then ramp up, slowly. Because at his age and his body condition, he's not, taking all those reps in camp.
Doing them a favor, not putting them through the rigors of camp.
Yeah, basically.
Why put his ass through camp and you know what he can bring to the table?
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense to me. My question is there's also a couple other guys that are floating around, bouncing around at similar dollars and cents, may or may not be more impactful. Who knows who they may wind up reaching out to if that's truly the situation. I'm just of mind at this point that, all right, you know what I mean? Like, you guys haven't done anything up to now.
Kids, the only reason why.
So you're telling me this because you believe you have something and you do. Like that's where I'm at. Like, tell me that you have it solved without telling me you have it solved.
Kids, I'm gonna tell you for the coaches, they have to put pads on in Hallis Hall before they can tell you anything. And once what they're telling you prior to putting pads on is we like what we have. And we like what we saw in 94. And we think he can round into shape. Plus, we got 55 that's coming off an injury. We got that going on. What they're saying to you is, chill out. It's July. Let's put these pads on, go through a couple weeks of that, and then let's go from there. That's what it is. And everybody's just impatient and not really being understanding because they didn't do the things that they wanted the Bears to do, and they just think it's a lost cause. No, you just got to wait, man. Just wait until they put their plan together, put it out on the field, and the coaches will determine. But this is a guy. Marcus Davenport is going to be a guy. If things ain't the way they want them to be, Marcus Davenport will be a Bear. I'm saying that. He's a beast.
Take on this one. That's wild. All right.
He's a beast, man. But that's my thoughts about what we can do in the offseason. I do have a couple more players to talk about, but it's more important for me after spending some time with you guys, spending some time with my gal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I've been gone for a week, ain't really had time to. My body needed to repair last night, and she wanted to binge. I don't know if you guys been watching The Bear on Hulu. I heard it's the last season, but she really wanted to do that last night. I was too beat up and too tired, and I just couldn't do it. And so tonight's a different night, and I told her we're gonna do some stuff tonight, man. You know, we're gonna do couples type things, man. And so that's why we'd probably be on here for another hour and a half. It was left up to me, but it ain't my call this week, y'all.
So you're saying you spent all last night watching somebody else slang beef?
I spent all last night watching my goddamn eyelids.
I'll say no beef was seen to be slang.
My body was whooped, kids. I don't know how much you heard.
No, I heard most of it, man. I heard most of it.
Man,
I'm glad you got out there though and got the job done. Made a couple of bucks, you know, threw a little something in the
what up, Hill?
The jeans, you know what I mean? Oh, hey Hill, what it do? But yeah, man, I'm glad you got out there and got back in one piece, man. That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Amen to that. I appreciate that. Getting back in one piece. And that's being safe and returning with what you had when you left.
That's it, man. Now you gotta rest up and recoup and get over going out there in the first place.
No man feeling like that old dude that got beat up by that bison.
Bro,
oh, damn.
Bro, man.
Is there footage of this? I gotta see this.
Yeah, it's some good reels out on that.
Oh, yeah. It's up close and personal in HD color.
All right. I love when animals whoop ass, man.
It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't funny, but it was funny.
See?
I mean, because I mean, it's not AI. And there's such a incredible shot of, hey, why y'all standing there? This ain't no zoo. Y'all see that wild ass animal rolling there looking at you? Oh, now you think you're gonna run from them? Huh? Oh, you gonna use the trees and run around? Oh, look at you! You can fly.
Hey, you know what this? Hey, Trish, you know what this says to me is this: when you hear people say, he ain't got no sense or she ain't got no sense. This is what they mean. Like people don't have good sense.
Man,
I've been trying to tell you this.
What was it? Yosemite Park or a national park. So it's not a zoo. It's not a contained area. And these are wild animals. Bison. Several tons. Just because the bison from the angle of the camera. The bison looked at old boy taking pictures, and he was like, "Oh, word! You gonna do it?"
You know what? You keep being surprised by it.
Hey, you with the camera.
You keep being behooved by people just walking up to wild animals and getting just shit wrecked.
Man,
And I understand now that these people don't have the barriers that people with sensibilities have. They don't have the barriers.
I mean, there's signs all over posted. Not only don't feed the animals, but don't mess with the animals.
They don't have the awareness, man.
It was Yellowstone.
He does now. Yeah,
Man.
Yellowstone.
He'll do it somewhere else.
We showed the park.
He'll do it somewhere else because he doesn't have sense.
You know what I love, man? I love these.
But to see this, obviously, senior citizen dude try to run around a group of trees.
You ever see people?
And he's like, "Oh shit, run, dude, run!" Oh,
you ever see people get upset knowing they can't fight, and just because they're upset, they'll walk right into, I just go hollering and yelling and screaming right into the line of fire. Boop, 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 boop. Just get the shit beat out of them because they're not aware, because I'm upset and I want to get in your face about something. You just expect me to accept you getting in my face about something, hollering and screaming, right? And I'm not gonna whoop your ass.
I don't want to say nothing, but some people are like real bad about that.
Terrible.
And it's like, oh, I'm upset, so I'm just gonna do what I want to do, and then they get knocked the fuck out, and then they crying about it.
You got no sense.
Why did you knock me the fuck out? Well, because you put your hands on me.
So I'm definitely going to find this and watch this tonight. It just reminds me of some of these clips out there. And like the best is with the Jamaican voiceover. There's clips of goats just whooping ass. And there's nothing funnier than watching people get butt down by a goat, man. It's top 10 entertainment on the planet Earth. I have to say this, man. Just watching an angry goat just run you down and hit you, super funny. But to make matters better is Jamaican voiceover. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, I just sent it to you there on the Twitter.
Sweet. All right, perfect.
As a matter of fact, one of the guys that I had on the crew with me, I had to, me, man, I'm not gonna let nobody run into a bus or put their leg in a wood chipper and no shit like that. I'm gonna stop them. I ain't gonna let them do that. There was one guy I'm working with a few Hispanic people, man, some Latino people, speaking a lot of Latino around me, Spanish around me. And one guy was just like, kept on, yo, me up, stopping cats from doing crazy shit. I'm talking about doing stuff that's going to hurt them, not nobody else. And I'm like, hold on, man. And I had to stop a couple dudes because they didn't have the amigo that wanted to talk to me. There was another one that was translating to me. He's just like, he's saying, man, that guy ain't got good sense. And I was like, okay. All right. I had to stop. Hell of a worker, man. Hell of a hard worker.
I was waiting for that part. Yeah, he works real hard.
Oh, he works.
Got no sense.
Didn't have good sense, man, whatsoever.
And you gave him Jameson.
No, not that one. Not that one. No.
No Jameson for you, pal.
I didn't give it to him. But one of the other amigos gave it to him a little bit, but I ain't give him shit. I'm like, man, go sit your ass down. But you got people like that out here that really don't have good sense and just out here, man, and creating all kind of havoc because they don't have good sense. It's just ridiculous, man. But
yeah, a lot of that going around.
It's ridiculousness, man. How come you can't see? We see warning signs. We see red light, yellow light, green light. I'm talking about in a metaphor of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Other people don't see that. That's the best way I can describe it.
They all see green. They just go, 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 go. All gas, no brakes.
And then
it's like, y'all need to slow the fuck down.
Red light comes in hot. You know what I'm saying? That's just how she goes. But
but that's the kind of world we're living in. But we all come to hang out on Wednesday night on Nomad at Night, talk a little stuff, talk some bears, talk about the world, talk about, life and current events, because we're all alive and we're all current and we're all eventing. So, big ups to everybody tuning in. And then we also look forward to seeing you on Wednesday night for some extra sauce with all of those eclectic topics, if you will. So please make sure that you are signed up for all three networks as you see on the screen here, the Nomad Network at Kids of Canuck and Sports Chicago Style, also known as Triple R SCS. So yeah, big up to everybody. I'm good for the night as we're ready to sign off. Appreciate y'all being with us, and see you when we see you.
Yeah, everything he said is true. Facts. Like, share, subscribe, give us a comment. We would appreciate all of that. Hopefully you guys are watching either X-Men 97 or House of the Dragon, because they're dope as all get out, and we will definitely discuss more about that on a future episode of Extra Sauce, I'm sure. That being said, y'all have a good weekend, man. Enjoy the rest of the week. We'll catch you on Wednesday. Nomad?
X-Men 97, House of the Dragon. Because I haven't seen either one of them as far as House of the Dragon goes this year, I'm still saving. X-Men 97, I'm going to have to brush up on. And I don't know what.
Is that a movie or a series?
Series. So, quick synopsis. Back in the day when we were younger, there was an X-Men cartoon. Hopefully either one of you are familiar with it. Dope-ass cartoon. One of the better cartoons back in the day. They just basically continued right on from where the last episode of that show back in the 90s or whenever it was. And they kind of have full license to really do some dope stuff with the X-Men roster. Last season was awesome. Super, like.
Wait a minute. What network is it on?
Disney Plus.
I might have to. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see that yet. I don't think we got
it. Yeah, I was just gonna say you're gonna magically make it appear. It's stranger things have happened, but it is super dope. I'm very impressed with what they've done, not just with this. So, like, the one little comparison that I will make of this season's first two episodes, by the end of episode number 2, I got like just this feeling of like, wow, like this is like Transformers the movie for me. And me saying that is a big homage. Like that's Transformers the movie I've probably watched 100 times as a kid. Easily my favorite childhood movie from front to back. Just saying. But it kind of gave me those types of vibes here this second season. Those first couple of episodes, super good. They're about halfway through the season. I expect it to get much better. But it's already both season 1 and season 2 so far. Really well put together.
That sounds good. I'm gonna delve into and see whether it's worth getting Disney Plus, but that sounds good the way you described that. I did take and look. I did have a little bit of time when I was on the job to look at Spider-Man Noir. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's on Prime.
I watched a little bit of it. Yeah, I'm about halfway through. I should have powered it all through already, but I'm about halfway through.
Oh, you already got that far? I only got through one episode because I was on the job. And I think it's interesting. At the very least, in the very first episode, it was very interesting the way that story is starting to build. And that's about as far as I would want to go there because I haven't seen enough.
Yeah.
And, but with kids being halfway through it, that's going to make for an interesting conversation. So, I was looking at a little bit of that. Yeah. And I just want to say this before we get out of here. Hey, I missed you guys. I'm talking about these two guys right here. Man. I missed you guys. But I miss the guys, that people in the chat as much or more, man. I miss everybody. And it's weird for me right now because I'm readjusting myself, and I'm asking you all to have patience with how some things might be a little bit different because I might not be around when exactly you're used to me being there because I might have to be gone and making that bread out there. So we will make it happen over here on the channel. The channel ain't going nowhere. We will make shows, and sometimes I just won't be available for them, because I got to go do things. But I appreciate you guys' patience in advance. I would appreciate it. and be understanding of what we got going on. And make sure you guys subscribe to Kids to Canuck and Sports Chicago Style equally, man, and the Nomad Network. Give us a subscribe. It's totally free. Share this content, totally free. Like the content, totally free. And we appreciate you guys. And I want to leave you guys with these famous words. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.